little bit because I was like, why am I talking to myself when I could be talking to also no one, but maybe someone will join. You know what I mean? Like, just maybe someone will join. Anyways, what do you guys think about makeup? It's pretty. I had orientation for a job that I got hired in. Thankfully. I have been like unemployed for a while now, so yeah. So yeah, I had orientation, everything went well, and this was my makeup. I was actually planning on doing like a little like sunflowers. Like I was doing like burgundy here, but I was like, oh, that doesn't really go well, so I just took it off and just went with yellow, to be honest. I had like a yellow shirt and like a burgundy dress. So I thought it was really cute, personally. So yeah, I don't really know what to talk about when I go lives, so I might just be all over the place with what I'm talking about. So yeah. Anyways, look at my hair. It's so pretty. I finally was able to fix it because like after I bleached it, it was so damaged. If you haven't watched that video yet, that video was an absolute mess. Still one of my favorite vlogs, by the way, like probably my first vlog ever. But it really messed up my hair, and you see it's gone a little darker since then for some reason, or always this always happens to my hair for some reason. Um but thankfully I fixed how frizzy and dull and dead it was, because it was horrible. It was bad. It was really bad. Anyways, I have been trying to post consistently on here and on TikTok as well. I have 3 accounts on TikTok, and I post a lot of different stuff on each one so that it isn't like repeated and stuff. But it becomes exhausting at some point, especially now that I'm start working. I feel like I won't have time to edit videos and stuff. So I don't know. It's kind of difficult, to be honest. I'm trying to see if I went live like a few days ago, if I'm not wrong, like a week ago, and then it started lagging like really bad. I saw it like after, so I'm trying to figure out if you guys can actually see or hear and see me, maybe. I don't know. And I don't even have Wi-Fi, so I can't even go into any of my phones right now. This is why I hate iPhone. Honestly, iPhone sucks. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. I have an iPhone, right? But this, which iPhone is this? 16e, I think. It sucks. Okay, I hate iPhone because what the shit? It doesn't even. There's certain areas where iPhones don't work. Like it doesn't get any signal, Wi-Fi. I don't understand. Okay, I got this because I wanted to. Wait, this is so embarrassing. I got an iPhone because I wanted to be toxic, and I wanted to know how to use iPhones to catch in case someone was cheating on me. And I wanted to know how to use iPhones for that reason. And that was the only reason I essentially bought it. Um, but yeah, I still don't know how to use iPhones, and they kind of suck. They're very shitty. I don't know why people get them, to be honest. Like, right now, I'm currently live on my Samsung Galaxy, and I've always used Android my whole entire life. So, personally, I feel like Android is so much better than iPhones, right? But yeah, that is still my proven fact because iPhones are very shitty. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing exciting about iPhones, and there's nothing like pretty on them, to be honest. So, just a personal opinion. If you do have iPhone, great. Please tell me how to maneuver on these things because I get so confused sometimes. It's like, what the shit am I doing here? You know what I mean? But anyways, I have been growing on YouTube, so I want to thank you guys so much. If you are subscribed, thanks so much. I have been on YouTube, I think, for like so long. I think it's like 4 years I've been on YouTube. iPhone is not better, I can assure you that. It is not. It sucks. I mean, it really does suck. I don't know. I don't like it. Regardless of that, that is not the point. It sucks. It sucks so much. Wait, what am I reading? I'm sorry. Hello. I don't really know much about Hitler, girl. I don't know why you're commenting that. But thank you so much for your comment, I guess. How was my day one? Okay, I'm a little confused now. A dolphin? You know what? That confuses me so much. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm not really intellectual in that area. I don't really understand your question, love. My day was good. It was alright. Like I said, I had orientation because I got hired at a job. So, wish me luck. It's not my first job, but still, it makes me nervous because new people. And I don't really like interacting with people as much. I feel like I have good customer service, but it's just like, I don't know. Just, coworkers tend to be weird sometimes. I don't know. Oh, you were my day one? Where are you? Where are you? I don't even know what mod is though. I'm being so honest with you. I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm new to YouTube because I've done YouTube for a while, I guess. But I don't know what that is. But yeah. I've been trying to stay consistent on my TikTok and it is honestly so frustrating. People on TikTok are mean. Like, they're so mean on TikTok. I don't get it. Like, I kind of got the hang of it because I've kind of been rage baiting some people, but people are so mean on TikTok. It is so weird. Girl, I'm not 30. This comment said, what's it like being 30? Girl, I'm barely an adult. Barely an adult right now. Okay, I'm still a little baby in my mother's eyes. 21? Where are you getting these numbers? I'm not 21. I'm 19, which is, I don't know. I felt like when I was a child, I thought I would be more out there in life than I am now, but I'm not. I feel like life is not as easy as I thought it was. So, yeah, this is where I'm at right now. Just getting another part-time job because my businesses didn't work. I guess, like, I wanted to start like a small business, but something like very small, you know, like being like long-term or permanent, just to get by until, or like while I was in college basically. But I haven't even gone to college yet. Unfortunately, it sucks. In 2007, girl, I feel like I lost brain cells right now. No offense. I am too tired for this. It is 9, right? What time is it? Oh, it's almost 10. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm tired. Do you guys know how to crochet? Like this. I was trying to crochet a lemon last time, and I feel like I messed up the stitch count because I don't even know where it is. Because it looked a little wonky. So, holy shit. Oh my goodness. I haven't even mastered knitting yet because that takes so much more longer than crocheting, and I was about to cry doing that. Honestly, I take long, I would say considerably long crocheting, and then knitting would take like so much more longer. So it was like, no, thank you. I'd rather take on another hobby. What do you mean the young kids can't read? What does that mean? I mean, I kind of figured by the name you were a guy. Right? Yeah. It's so lovely to meet you guys, to be honest. I feel like I don't talk as much as I should, or I don't make conversation as much as I should, but I don't really go live like that, and I don't really have people on my live as much, so it's kind of hard making conversation. Especially when you're reading back and you're not really conversating like that. You know what I mean? So yeah. If I'm awkward, then I'm sorry. I'll let you just complain about it. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know why. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, maybe the education system failed them because I know a few people that can't really read or write, but that's because they didn't have an education. You know what I mean? And the people that do have an education still, like, I've met people who have education and they still don't know the basics. So honestly, I blame the government. Please don't get any tattoos. Girl, I like my skin. I take I take so much pride in my skin. My skin is good. I do want to get a tattoo though. Not gonna lie, I do. I want to. Wait, it's not a bad idea, okay? And it's also, I don't think it's going to be that visible. I want to get a white tattoo like on my shoulders here, like along here, like here. So I've seen white tattoos kind of like heal, kind of like scars. So it's not gonna be that visible. But I just want to, kind of like wearing a coat. I just want to, you know, kind of like accessorize my body with a tattoo, if you know what I mean. Like, does that make sense in a way? I feel like it might not make sense. I mean, yeah, I think that same thing too. I think women are more attractive without tattoos. But on the contrary, like I have also seen women who have very beautiful tattoos and like it suits them very well. Like very, very well. You know what I mean? On men, obviously men with tattoos is like you know, very attractive. But still, I don't know. I don't know. Especially if they go to the gym and shit. You know what I mean? It's really nice. But, oh my god. Hey, low key, like, I'm home alone. I don't know if someone came in. Gym. Wait, I gotta check. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, my mom came in. Like I said, I was home alone, but I decided to go live. So, hi people that joined in. Hello. I'm crocheting this thing. I don't really know what I'm crocheting. I'm just going around in circles, I guess. Because I'm kind of bored. Like, I need to be multitasking, because if I'm not multitasking, I get anxiety. So, yeah. Yeah. That's how I live my life, honestly. Which is kind of why I don't like jobs that I get bored easily or I'm not doing a lot. Because I don't like being on anxiety medication. So, and it's not like I have like a lot of anxiety, at least not right now. But it's just, I don't know. Like, a job is supposed to be something you're doing like constantly, you know? Like, there's work involved constantly. For example, when I worked at this like one fast food restaurant, you couldn't sit down or you couldn't like stop doing something even for a second. Like, you were trying to figure out what to do next and there was already someone telling you, oh, you can't be standing up not doing anything, there's so much stuff to do. And it was like, girl, I'm new here. Like, I was actually new there and I was like, I don't even know what to do. Like, they didn't even train me properly. It was so dumb. I honestly can't believe. Anyways, I only lasted there for like a month. So, yeah. Girl. Girl, who's Phil and Cinema? Am I saying that right? Sorry. I'm not too informed. I'm not too informed, love. Sorry. I don't really know what to ask you guys. I feel like I should be asking you guys questions. I don't know. How was y'all's day today? The singer for Pantera? I still very uninformed on that subject. Very. I feel like, I don't know. I don't know. Does that require like a lot of screen time? Because if it does, I do have it. but maybe not for that type of subject. You know what I mean? Speaking of a lot of screen time, I don't really be answering messages just because I know there's someone here whom I haven't answered, and I'm so sorry if I haven't answered your message. I I feel like this is like the first time I actually get a little bit of peace for myself. You know what I mean? So I'm going live right now, but if you're in this live and I haven't answered you, I'm so sorry. Truly, 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 truly sorry. Yeah, tattoos. The placement that I wanted the tattoo is just like on my shoulders. It's a very small, simple, kind of like line artwork tattoo, really. So it's not like an extravagant look. You know what I mean? I do agree on the fact that tattoos do accentuate someone's looks because it really does. Like, I've seen some people that it really looks really freaking great on them. Personally, I don't think I look good with tattoos, but I still want to see how I'll look like with one. You know what I mean? Like, we could just AI it or something to see how it looks on me, but I don't know. I'm still not entirely convinced of getting it just yet. Maybe when I get like muscles and stuff, I'll do it. I'm still working out, still working progress there. I've never really heard of it, but I mean, I'll look into it for sure. And thank you so much. Thank you for calling me pretty, y'all. You guys are such sweethearts compared to TikTok. Like I said, TikTok is really mean. People on TikTok are so mean to me. Like, I'm used to it, right? In a way, like I don't care, right? But they are so aggressive. Like, if you're attacking them, dude, like you be posting a video that is like kind of unrelated and satire and supposed to be like a funny trend, and they take it so seriously. Like, I don't know how a trend for me that pops up in my For You page like often doesn't pop up on them, like on their For You page, but my video does, and then I get all the hate. Like, what the hell? Like, what's going on there? You know? I don't know, people on TikTok are very weird. It's like they're die-hard critics. Honestly. Like, I feel like they don't know how to be nice. I really don't think they know how to be nice. It's like they get paid to be rude and mean. You know? I mean, I've never really been on Twitter, so I can't really say much about Twitter or what goes on there. But TikTok, I mean, usually the videos on my feed that pop up like are like very nice comments and everything. But when I post, it's like I'm the freaking worst person in this freaking world, you know? Like, damn. It's it's so weird. It's kind of funny to read those comments cuz like they hate on like my looks, and they think like some videos are very satire, so it's like posting like, oh, I'm all that and shit, but it's not really true. Like, I don't feel like I'm all that, you know? It's just a part of the trend, girl, like, you know? And then they attack me like Like if I'm being arrogant or something. Like I'm not. It's just a trend. It's a silly little trend. But thankfully, like because of all the hate comments, I get a lot more engagement, not only on that video itself, but others. So I think that's nice. I think in a way it benefits me. So I think I get a decent amount of likes on my TikToks, but then I don't have enough followers. Like I feel like I get more likes on my videos than I have followers on my TikToks. And like I said, I do have like 3 accounts of TikToks just because one was my main account and then the other one was like a spam account. And then the third one I made because the first main account that I had, it kind of got age restricted, which is weird because I am of age. But whatever that is, thankfully, I mean, I got it fixed. It's been like 6 months, but I got it fixed from that age restriction. So now I have 3 accounts. Thank you so much again. Yeah, humanity is a little off during these recent years, to be honest. I don't know, they're very sensitive too. I feel like they take everything too hard and they don't know how to enjoy life too much. I don't know if it's just because I stopped taking everything and even life seriously. So for me, it's like, whatever. But to them, it's like their whole world comes crashing down just because of a silly little TikTok. Which is exactly kind of why it's so funny to me, because it's like, since when? Since when is one of my videos hurting the entire planet? You know? It's so weird. Oh look, I made a little finger now. That I know of, my cousin made like a little Bart Simpson. ¿Cómo se llama? Am I saying that right? I don't even know if I'm saying that right. But, and it was so cute. I don't know where I left it, to be honest. I think she has it. But she made a little Bart Simpson. But here, I don't even really know what I'm making. What could this turn out to be? Oh yeah. Did I mention I made a live and then the live was like all distorted? I was like, it pissed me off a little bit. I mean, the video kind of sucked. The live kind of sucked. I was trying to do like lash clusters, but the glue that came in the set was kind of pretty bad. So it was really frustrating. I literally thought I had patience, but when I look back at it, it was only like 20 minutes long. So it was like, yeah, I gave up too easily. But to be fair, the glue really wasn't working at all. So, yeah. But anyways, the video didn't really have any sound, essentially, and it looked all laggy, so. I mean, yeah. The world is screwed up. But I mean, we are the cause of it, like, and I can't believe there's people that don't even try to at least change themselves. I mean, I know one person's not gonna make a freaking huge difference, right? But it's still a lot more progress than you think. And yet, people still stay stuck on past events or small little things that, I know sometimes you feel like you're dying because you're going through so much stuff, reasonably so, but You'll get over it. I promise. I promise you will. It's hard, but you will. You think I have an accent? I don't think I have an accent. I'm not from New Jersey. I need to get in touch with my world geography, to be honest. I feel like I don't really know much about the world. No. I reside currently in state of Texas. I'm from Texas. You're welcome. I don't want to be... I don't know what the right word is, but I really like Texas. It's a really nice state, I guess. A lot of ghetto people, for sure. For sure, for sure. But I guess everyone here just keeps to themselves in a way. But at least where I reside in, very loud people. You know, very loud, ghetto-ish. At least the ones in my age range. Kind of ghetto. So, do you think I actually have an accent? I don't think I have an accent. I don't know. I think my English is a little bad, but I don't think I have an accent. Ironically, I think I watched like The Terminator like years ago, and when I was like a child, and I don't think I remember much of those movies. But I guess it is in our nature to destroy ourselves. You know? We live in a sinful world. Very, very sinful world. Yeah, I am Hispanic. I am Hispanic. I was about to say unfortunately, but no, not unfortunately, just just Hispanic. I mean, I don't like my Spanish accent for sure. I know for a fact I have a Spanish accent. I hate it so much. It's like a death sentence to me. Like, I cannot hear myself speaking Spanish. I've tried making YouTube videos in Spanish and I absolutely can't because I can't seem to edit them. Like, I go through hours editing videos, but I can't bring myself to edit myself in Spanish because I immediately want to throw the video away, okay? Just, I can't. Like, I would say like I'm an intermediate in Spanish. Like, I speak it and everything. It's just sometimes when it comes to translating stuff in English to Spanish, because sometimes that's what my family has me do because I know English and they don't really know English like that. It's kind of like, yeah, I don't know shit, okay? Don't even ask me. This is very hard. I mean, is AI that bad? I haven't really gone into that subject a lot. I have heard that AI is bad and stuff. I haven't really gone too much into it. But why do you think AI is bad for society or for the world in general? I saw this video. It's about this guy who basically explains how the world works or something like that. And basically he's like, yeah, AI does use like a lot of water, I guess, but it's not as much as it used to be, I guess, something like that. You should go watch it. I think it's on TikTok. It is on TikTok. I think it's in a video where a guy says explaining how the world works and stuff like that. I mean, it's also good to do research. I mean, there's a lot of propaganda out there, so you know. I wouldn't just go based off of just one video or one person's opinion. It's just that's just personally how I do stuff. I don't like basing my opinions just off of one thing, you know? It's because for me, it's kind of like basing your opinion on something on just one side and one perspective of the story. And really, we should be looking at both sides of the story and your own perspective on things, you know? Just personally. I feel like I'm kind of getting nowhere with this. Look at this. Look. Fits my little finger. Should I make a little glove? I almost got my whole finger done. I think it would be nice to make a little glove. I've never really tried that. I kind of forgot. I think I started with 4. Wait, let me count. Did I do 2? No. I don't know how many increases I did. You only completed Spanish 1. I think I did up to Spanish 2, but I mean, I know Spanish. That's not essentially the issue for me. It's just kind of hard for me. Like, I wouldn't say like a no sabo kid, but I guess in some ways a little bit, just a bit. I do. It's become a hobby for me in English and in Spanish to make up words. So sometimes when I do say those made up words in Spanish, some people are like, "Oh, you're a no sabo kid," and it's like, no, honey. Like, I know how to say the word. It's just it's kind of fun to just say it this other way, you know? This is just a thing between me and my mom. We be saying words differently and inventing words. Yes. It's just fun. It makes life more fun. Personally. Oh, okay, it's getting too smart too fast. I get it when it comes to AI. I think those robots they're making, I don't know who has the ownership on those personally, but those little robots do kind of like scare me a little bit, because have you seen them? Like, they're programmed not to fight back or hurt humans, but I've seen so many videos where they're actually fighting back and hurting humans. Like, they're attacking humans. Like, what are we doing here? Why is that still a thing? You know? Just personally, I don't like the robots. I think AIs like ChatGPT and like Google. I mean, because Google is still a search engine. It's still an automated intelligence thing, you know? So, regardless, I mean, there's a lot of engine optimization shit. Like YouTube. YouTube is a search engine, as well as Google. And TikTok is also, I mean, I would say TikTok is even more, right? But regardless of that, I mean, I think everything we revolve in is technology, you know? Our phones is technology. And made up of AI, kind of like Siri, you know? Speaking of iPhones, Siri is technically AI too. What is it now? Like, hey Google? Is that activated on my phone? I think it is. I didn't want to activate it, sorry. But yeah, there's just search engines everywhere, you know? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of movies on that, I guess, revolving that essentially. Um, I mean, yeah, I guess we could take a little note from movies and people's imagination, but I don't know. I don't know. Really, my full opinion on that, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, they are kind of making their own system by themselves, you know? I don't doubt for a second, and this is just like a theory line, that they are hiding information, you know? You know how they're programmed to have a certain limited amount of information? I feel like they're hiding the fact that they know a lot more information than they actually do. You know what I mean? Like those robots are a lot smarter than we think, or than we know, I guess. Like I got a whole finger here. I think I need like 2 more rows here. I've made so many crochet things, and I think I've sold like a few crochet things, but I don't know. I thought I could turn that into a little business, but I couldn't. A lot of people here where I live aren't really into that, like crochet stuff, I guess. So I just kind of decided to keep this as a hobby instead of a job, because imagine crochet as a job. I respect the people that do this, but this takes hours. And I mean hours. And I feel like unless you're making like big plushies, it's not gonna pay out. For sure. For sure. For sure they're hiding information. You know? You think these would be good winter gloves? I feel like they wouldn't be too warm. They fit really snug. I wish I didn't put that. You know what I mean? I'm so scared to start working again. I'm scared. I just. I've had so many experiences with customers. Like, you think people online are stupid? These people in person are like, how are you even surviving in this world? Just being clueless, really, just clueless entirely. If I could tell you the stories. And let's not even talk about coworkers. Coworkers are the worst. Okay, they will eat you alive. Like, honey, you're working minimum wage. It is not that serious. Okay? Like, I'm all for following the rules and everything because I do. But these people take honey, I know how to wash dishes. I know how to serve people. Like, they think like their method is the only right method. You know, that's what I hate so much. Should I make one more line here? Maybe I should. Maybe I should. I worked, and this is so funny. I worked at this little snack thingy, um, right by my house, and I worked there for 3 days. And the things that happened during the course of those 3 days, not only because the owners are very shitty, but also the co-workers. We were all new there, okay? There was this one coworker that had like 10 years experience in a Whataburger, and he quit because they wouldn't make him manager after like 10 years, even though he would train everyone and this and that. And it has me thinking, like, I also worked at Whataburger, right? Like, Whataburger is a really good freaking place to work at, okay? Co-worker wise, I feel like people are too busy and too focused on their job to really give you their time of the day, you know what I mean? To create chaos and problems. So I think that's a really good workplace. But this man allegedly said that they wouldn't make him manager, but they would make other people manager, which understandably, but why would you stay there for 10 years? You know what I mean? Like, if they weren't giving you any raise or they weren't doing much, why would you stay there, right? To each their own. Again. Okay. That was the first guy. There was this other girl, really lovely girl, um, who had also worked at another place, I think. And I mean, we were good. I mean, I got to meet those people, and we were the only three working there. It was great. You know? I'm sorry. I'm trying to read everyone's comments. I don't want to be that person to not read comments. Um, what do I think of people doing content online without clothes on? I personally think of them respectfully. There's nothing really much to think about them. Personally, just not a thing, right? For me, and it's also a really valid question. I understand. I feel like humans care about other people's opinions, and I feel like most people base themselves off of that. I personally don't. I don't care what you do or what you don't do. I feel like I should care, cause, cause I do believe in God. So I feel like I should care. I'm not really there yet in my journey. Um, but you know, a little bit of conviction goes in there that I should care, but I don't. If that's what people want to do, some people do it for many reasons. Sometimes they need money. Sometimes they really just don't care. Sometimes, and this is just personal opinion, I do believe most people in the OnlyFans industry have a lot of mental issues. So, you know, and this is just because I've met some people in that industry that have decided to go that career and that pathway. So, you know, everyone does it for different reasons. Mainly money, of course. But some people actually really enjoy doing that, and I feel like this world is really messed up because of that. Because they think. Wait, how many did I do? Sorry. They think life should revolve around that, and honestly, it really shouldn't. It really shouldn't revolve around intercourse, I guess you could say that. You know? That's it. That's my opinion on those human beings that decide to do what they want to do with their body and their life. I am, of course, against it. Um, just, it's not my place, you know? Like, I can be against things for myself, you know? I don't have to do that. But I'm also not gonna shame other people for doing it, you know? Like, how is that my business? How is that my... It's not. I'm too worried about my life to care about what other people are doing, you know? Just, that's just my take on that. And really everything else that people do. I think I made a video about that, actually. I think I made a video speaking on certain, mainly hate comments. I think it was about that on my TikTok. I don't know if I posted it, but I made like a TikTok video speaking like how, oh, because, okay, this is like drama beforehand, right? I was I was with certain group of friends, and usually my social group is revolving men. Like even in the workplace, I've always been surrounded by guys and men. Most of them are older, right? Like they have wives and kids and everything, like, you know. And I was friends with a guy, and one of his friends was like very toxic and everything, and she was very involved in my life. Like I didn't know that much about my life, girl. Like what the hell? And she was so involved in my life, so I made a video. I was like, how are y'all so involved in my life? Like I don't even have time to answer, because they were commenting like a lot of stuff on my TikToks, which I think they deleted now, right? But they would like just spend hours commenting stuff on my TikToks, and I would be like so busy to even respond back. So I just made a video like, how are you guys so involved in my life? Like I'm still trying to figure shit out in my life, and you guys already know my whole freaking history. Like what the hell? Like how does that even happen? Like how are people so involved in other people's lives like that? I don't get it. Like so involved. It was so chaotic. Like, and they started like texting me from like different accounts too. I was like, okay, girl. I guess hate goes really far with you, bro. Like I had nothing to do with the guy. I was like, honey, you could keep him. You know, like why am I fighting for a guy? Is so embarrassing. Don't even talk to me about it. I would never. It's not a risky chance. I'm gonna tell you. There is evidence to support that. It's just about research. It's about how much you care on that, right? I don't like talking about this just because I don't think I'm that well informed. I do have a personal relationship with God Himself, but as many relationships, we go through a rough patch, and that is completely normal. Okay, God has always been there for me. So, and it's also, I've never not believed in God. You know, like I grew up in a Christian household. Like majority of my uncles are pastors, so I wouldn't know how to tell you how to start from scratch if you don't believe in Him, if you've never really grown up. And even if you have, growing up in a religious household is completely different from finding God Himself. You know, I've always believed God was real, and I always just regarded it. You know what I mean? I've always like, oh, I mean, He's real, He's there. Okay, like I said, like it doesn't concern me, I guess. But, and this was very recent, right? There was a point in my life where all I knew was God's existence, you know? So it got really bad for me that I was like, I know you're there. I know you're real. So, wait, this is actually kind of personal. So it was more like my conversations with Him, you know? And it just started like that. Like I would tell Him, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go sin and do this. So, catch you later. You know what I mean? Like I never hid myself. There's no reason to hide yourself from someone you think it's not real. You know? It's just like an imaginary friend sometimes. But then obviously you go through stuff that really just makes you go into it a little bit more. And there's so many truths and so many ways to live life in accordance to the Bible that it's not a selfish religion. I know there's a lot of selfish and hypocrite people, but why? And here's the thing. Why are you focusing yourself on imperfect people when you should be focused on the perfect man, which is Jesus, right? You should be following the examples of a perfect man. Why are you trying to go to church and judge everyone there when you yourself are not perfect? And you shouldn't even be following your own desires. You know, you should be following what the Bible is telling you. Because why would, realistically speaking, why would God care if you fix your life or not? You know, he's still God. Like, he made you. Like, what is that? How does that affect him in any way? You know? And I mean, yeah, there are other religions. Very, for me personally, they're very off balanced, in my opinion. I'm not even gonna say about other religions. I'm not gonna mention them, but they're a little bit kind of on the same basis. On most of them revolve around nature. Most of them revolve around a prophet. Um, there's other religions that revolve around a bad person being good and wanting good for you. If you know what I mean. I actually could say that one. Satanists. Most Satanists believe that Satan is a good person. Which is, I mean, to each their own, right? And that's very controversial too, because most Satanists believe that, um, don't actually believe he's a good person. They just want to believe in him. You know what I mean? And I know that because I know a lot of Satanists. Like, I do revolve and surround myself around people like that because they're people too. Why would I deny myself? As long as you are sure of what you stand on and what you believe. And there's nothing wrong with trying to understand other people and why they choose their religion, you know? So what I am speaking off on is stuff that I have heard other people say. So this isn't just like my personal opinion saying Satanists believe this and that. No, this is like personal testimony from other saints, basically. You know? A gospel in the Bible called Judas. Huh. That I don't know. I know there was another, allegedly, this is all alleged, right? I know there was like another book called the Book of Enoch, if I'm not wrong, that was like left out of the book, I guess. Um, here's the thing. The Bible is based off of the prophets that were actually eyewitnesses on Jesus' crucifixion, Jesus' life, you know? So the Bible is based off of those 12 prophets within themselves because they're eyewitnesses, you know? So the Book of Judas, I don't know. Personally, right? I know Judas was the one who betrayed Jesus. I'm actually not even sure what I'm actually saying right now. I don't really get into much of the stories actually. Like when I read, I'm gonna tell you something. When I read the Bible, is usually when I first started, it was the book of Matthew. My favorite verse, which was the first verse when I was going through a lot of stuff, was Matthew 5:4, which says, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. I know there's another one that says something different, but along those lines. Um, so I usually go from the book of Matthew. I've read the book of James. I usually go to Psalms or Proverbs because those are mainly like teachings and stuff. Um, so yeah, those are mainly like the books I read. I don't really go read stories, although I probably should. I just don't like personally reading them. That's all. But like I said, it's not just about research, but there is evidence out there that does support the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. The Noah's Ark, right? I think they have like a whole museum on Noah's Ark, if I'm not wrong, which I think is very interesting. I kind of want to go. And there's evidence about floods, right? You know, when Jesus used the rainbow to kind of signify as God's promise, basically, to not flood the earth again. And there's a lot more like basis to cover on everything. And the book of Revelation, I've never really touched that book because I'm kind of scared. But the book of Revelations does have a lot of stuff that we now are experiencing as a humanity and as a world. You know? I mean, I wouldn't say species, 10 billion species, right? Yeah, it seems impossible. But, I mean, just look at it this way. This world was just created out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, we don't even know where we come from. Like, people say, like, oh, the Big Bang Theory. Like, yeah, honey, a random spark happened and made a bunch of human cells with different DNA. Right. You know what I mean? Like, what sounds more unbelievable to you sometimes, you know? And the thing is, um, you know who I like seeing a lot when I have like questions about the Bible within itself too? Cliff. Oh my goodness, I love Cliff so much. He is a pastor. I've seen him so much on TikTok, but he does go in detail and he does explain a lot about the Bible and a lot of questions that us humans have naturally. We are very curious humans. You know, that's why Adam and Eve ate the apple. Like, we're very curious humans. It's totally normal to ask questions, right? The thing is, where does faith come in? If you have all the facts and I've heard someone say, like, oh, if I see Jesus or God himself, I'll believe. Like, honey, people hundreds of years ago saw Jesus perform miracles and exorcisms and they didn't believe. Like, you actually think you're gonna believe it yourself? Like, sure, honey, sure. Like, Jesus was there saying, I and the Father are one, and they still didn't believe, you know, like, and he didn't, like Jesus himself said, he didn't come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it, you know. I guess you should watch. I haven't personally watched it either. I don't know where it's on, but I think I don't have the subscription for it. But if you do, I would recommend watching The Chosen, even as just like a show, even if you're not interested too much on the subject. I think it has really good storylines and good lessons that you can learn as a human being without necessarily tying yourself to any sort of religion or belief system, really. I think it's really nice. You know? You get to know a little bit more about what's going on in other people's worlds and what they believe in, you know? Like I said, like, I don't really like talking about it just because I'm not that informed, and when I talk about something, I like for people to understand it fully. And it's not that I don't understand it, I just don't know how to explain it as much as other people would. And sometimes people get questions that I don't know how to answer entirely, just because I don't want to confuse them, because it makes sense in my head, but I don't want to confuse you guys. Here's the thing. We can go on and on about who created God, and then if that other person created God, then who created that person? You know what I mean? Like, there's no ending cycle, so there always has to be a beginning to it. There always has to be a start. No matter, I mean, either way, every freaking start is crazy. If you ask me, like okay, the world came about to be from a light in the air, in the universe. Right, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, everything has a beginning. Everything. You know, there has to be a creator who made all of this. And that creator, and personally, I mean, is the only creator who actually humbled themselves to be one in humanity and sacrificed his only child. That whomever believed shall be saved. That whomever believes shall not perish but have eternal life. I think that's how John 3:16 goes. I'm still trying to learn Bible verses, so I get confused. Yeah, faith is belief with lack of evidence. That's the point of faith. Faith, in definition, is believing in the impossible, believing in something you're not certain of. Okay, here's the thing. Here's something that I've heard, which makes so much sense to me, but it might not, and that's okay. Faith and fear require you to believe in something that you are not even sure of. You don't know, you don't have evidence on, like, you know what I mean? So which one do you want to be? Which one do you want to live your life off of? Faith or fear? You know? At the end of the day, faith gives you peace. You know? Sometimes it's good not knowing, because why would you want to know? You know? Knowing sometimes is bad. It's a lot more worse than you think it is, you know? Because, I mean, I feel like that's what makes us human sometimes. You know? Having faith, believing. And, you know, faith gives us hope, I guess. It helps us endure longer in this life. You know, sometimes when we're like, what's the point in continuing? There's faith. You have faith that and hope that it will get better eventually, you know? So that's just my personal take on it. I've never heard that theory before. I'm so serious. We're an alien experiment created by a dude that looks like us. Girl. I mean, alien experiment, but then who made aliens? You know what I mean? Like, there just goes that just random ass loop. And why wouldn't a creator want to be known? You know? Almost every religion requires a creator that wants to be known. You know? And the thing with God and Jesus himself is that he wants to be known for who he is and not for this, like, ultimate being. That's why he came down to earth, to humble himself. You know what I mean? Have I ever read the 7 tenet of Satanism? No, love. No. No, I haven't, love. I... Wait, I didn't even finish reading that comment, love. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. You're comparing the 7 tenets of Satanism to the 10 commandments because they make more sense. Okay. I haven't personally read them. Right? But like I said, yeah, a lot of people believe that Satan is a good person. And here's the thing. You believe in... How can I explain it? This is where I go a little bit like... You believe in this good, but you don't believe in evil. Right? Like, that doesn't exist to you. Right. Okay. That's the first part that I'm going through, right? Satan has been known along so many years to be evil. Okay, now when it comes to the Bible, Satan was just very prideful. He believed in himself. He believed in, oh, you should believe in yourself. You should believe that you are capable to do everything yourself. I mean, look at the temptations that Satan gave. Who is it? Eve? Yeah, Eve ate the apple first. You know? I mean, that I know of, most Satanism rules come from that you are your own God. You are capable of doing so many things by yourself. You have to believe in yourself more. And this and that. You know? Those are mainly, like, what I know of Satanism. Right? Now, when it comes to Satanism, you know, it requires sacrifice, right? Like, you think Satan is just... And I'm not saying everyone, right? Like, nowadays, not everyone, right? But Satanism requires sacrifice. Certain kinds. I know some people do it still traditionally with, like, sheep and goats, if I'm not entirely mistaken. And when it comes to Satanism, witchcraft is inevitably involved, whether you think it's witchcraft or not. Incense by itself is witchcraft. All these other things within themselves are still a form of witchcraft. And here's the thing that I also heard within the Christian community, of course. I don't know if it was Cliff himself. Like I said, he's a really good pastor, which answers so many questions. But... Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry. Okay, wait, let me just rewind a little bit. Okay, I read your comment. No, I'm not saying you're a Satanist. I'm saying... Okay, look, I have a family member who is a Satanist. So when I'm speaking to you on this, it's because I know a little bit. I don't know too much because I don't really ask that person so much about it. I just know what he does because he does speak on it, right? Everyone manages their relationship with their God differently. So I'm not saying everyone does sacrifices, right? But most people of that religion do, right? The same way, and this is very rare, right? But I have met, well, not met, but I've seen, I have seen, like, on the internet and stuff, how some people of religion, of, like, Jesus Christ and God himself, do go to that religious psychosis on sacrifices and stuff. Which is weird because the Bible has never really mentioned human, right? It's always mentioned, like, animals and stuff. Nowadays, our sacrifices are our sins, right? But yeah, going back to the initial claim, I don't know where I was. I was gonna say something. It was also involving Cliff and his teachings. Really good teachings. I recommend you go watch him. He's very entertaining as well. Like, even if you're not religious like that, but he's very entertaining. I can't remember for the life of me how or what I was gonna say. Um, but oh yeah. Satan doesn't want you to stop believing in God himself. You know that when Satan went to the Garden of Eden to tempt Eve, it wasn't to stop making her believe that there was a God, because obviously she can hear and see him, right, during those times. And his intention was never to for you to stop believing him. It was always for you to defy him, to not to deep from him. Okay? So I don't know if you've ever heard the story of how Jesus Christ himself got tempted by the devil. Yeah. There's a story in the Bible about that. And the temptations of the devil weren't to stop believing in God, because Satan himself doesn't ever commit that of stop believing in God or denying him, okay? There's so many exorcisms and stuff that you can actually look up where there's possessions, okay? So Satan really never hides himself on who he truly is. There's times where he does manipulate, he does lie, of course, because that's essentially his essence, that's what he is. So yeah, there's been so many people that say, oh, he's actually a good person, and reasonably so. Like, sometimes their points are like kind of valid, like, okay, we get it. But it all falls down to pride, because what kind of person tells you to just focus on yourself, believe in yourself, this and that, yada yada yada, right? When the Bible does the same thing. It does the same thing. It tells you to have um, faith, and you could do stuff, Plant your seeds every day. Harvest your seeds. But at the end of the day, the only one who can make your seeds grow is God himself. You know? That's just the point, the basis of it. And that's the thing. Really. Going back to those human possession videos, usually during those human possession videos, if you've seen movies as well, not every movie is accurate, but during those movies, it's also stated, like, during your sins. Satan always reminds you of your sins. So when you depart from God, he stops reminding you of him, because there's no point, you know? God, ¿cómo se llama? Satan will always try to push that when you're religious, and there is so much spiritual warfare that goes in following God. Don't even get me started, okay? Like, that is something a lot of people don't warn you about. There is so much spiritual warfare because Satan only attacks those who believe in God, okay? If you don't believe in anything, you don't believe, why would he really attack you, really? All you're going about in life is just consequences of your own actions, okay? That's it. But when you are religious and you're actually trying to do stuff right, you're trying to be a better person, trying to be nicer, whatever it is you were struggling before, you're trying to do better. Goodness gracious, when I tell you, those temptations and those self-doubt and your self-worth comes in question so many times, it is insane. Okay, like, you don't even feel good about yourself, you don't feel good about anything. Like, it is so hardcore. It is, yeah. When you go really, like, into your relationship with God, everything goes downhill, okay? Like, you give your life up, basically, for God himself, because he wants to transform you and he wants to renew you, and you are a new person in Christ, basically. You're getting rid of your old self and becoming new in spirit, right? So yeah, that goes into Okay, sorry. What would be the ultimate evil to me? I mean, yeah, but that's kind of like what Satan does, doesn't he? He presents himself as a good guy, even though for eons he's known as a bad guy. You know what I mean? Just think about it, okay? Here's the thing: Satan has used a lot of witchcraft, right? Manifestation. Manifestation, whether you like it or not, is a form of witchcraft, okay? Crystals, stars in the sky, still witchcraft, created by God, used for evil, okay? Um, and that's the thing. I mean, Satan will always be on your good side so that he could be persuasive. You know what I mean? Like, who would you trust more? A random stranger in the street or a friend or a family? You know what I mean? Like, he's getting on your good side. God is never about getting on your good side, it's about being righteous, doing things what's actually right, whether you like it or not. You know, sometimes an example is forgiveness. You know, sometimes it's very hard to forgive someone. Because why should I? Why should I forgive someone? You know, like, look at what they're doing to me. Look at what they're doing. But when it comes to Christ and God, it's like, put yourself in their shoes. Do you know what they're going through? Do you know why he was mad at you? Do you know what you did? Have you realized all he's done for you and stuff? Every situation is very different, right? But forgiveness is not all just about you or the other person. It's just, why should you be carrying that? You know? Why? It's like going up a mountain full of a backpack with rocks. Like, why are you carrying that? That's just making your life so much harder. You know, like, that is so pointless, really. It's pointless. It's what it is. Okay, when you're saying God has done bad stuff in the Bible, um, he has. I'm not saying he hasn't. I'm saying, yeah. As a human, yeah, I think that's pretty bad for God to be doing that. But when you think about it, he is the creator. Here's the thing. If I want to make something, right, and then I want to throw it away because I made it, I have every right to do that. That's just personally how I think, right? It might look bad and look very, like, girl. Personally, how I think. Number two, God didn't do those things just because he wanted to do those things. He did those things, and there is a verse in the Bible where God himself says he regrets making humanity. Because do you know the things humans be doing nowadays? Okay, there is a lot of evil in this world, and that evil is not caused by God, okay? We have the free will to choose and to do whatever we want to do, whether it is to believe or not to believe, which is why our free will is in that. God is not making you believe in him. God is not making you do the right thing. He's telling you, you can do the right thing. Do you want to? It's a choice. It's a choice that everyone has to make. A lot of people don't make it. And that's why we have chaos. That's why we have laws. We have jail. We have punishment systems, you know? There's a lot of evil in this world. The flood was because of evil in this world. The fire, I don't know what it was. It's actually, I need to go read. The fires in Sodom y Gomorrah. I don't really know how to say that in English, but basically where Lot's wife kind of, God specifically told them not to turn back and look at what or how he was destroying that city. and Lot's wife basically turned around and she's turned into a pillar of salt. Because at the end of the day, yeah, those were God's saved people, right? Lot's wife and him were God's saved people because they believed in him, right? And um, she chose not to, and she was turned into a pillar of salt. You know, it's a choice. It's a choice that we have to make. And those people in Sodom and Gomorrah were doing a lot of evil stuff. Okay. Like, have you seen the Epstein files? Yeah. Kind of like during that same path right there. Kind of the same path right there. Because if I'm not entirely mistaken, and I'm not sure if it was that same story, there were angels sent. Um, I don't know if it's the same story, so just a little brief there. There is a story that angels were sent down to convert the people and be warned about what was going to happen if they didn't like get in place, I guess. Just like, hey, you know what, like what you're doing is not entirely okay. You know, like why are we doing that to the small children? Or why are we, you know, why are we living men to men, women to women in a lustful like strip clubs like every corner, you know what I'm saying? And if I'm not wrong, there's a story that these people were trying to have intercourse with the angels themselves. Okay, they were trying to force themselves on the angels. Okay, that is the story in the Bible. Okay, and um, I don't know if it's this same story. Like I said, my stories up here cross-wired. Okay, I need to get some sleep. But there was also where the angels actually turned to sin themselves, you know, because angels were literally, um, as most humans say, selfishly created to believe in God, like only God. This is also something I've heard where angels live by sight and we live by faith, which is something, you know, that's also what I was gonna say. I forgot to say it, but thank God I said it. And that's the thing, though, like, it's not just because I created something, I'm throwing it away. It's about, it gets to a point where it's like, well, honey, who are you to take that away from someone else? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you forcing yourself on other people? If you know what I mean. Like, I don't want to say specifically that word, but that's basically kind of like what was going on during the time where God was flooding the earth and destroying cities. Like, that is like the evil that went down when God decided to destroy humanity within itself. It was bad. Okay, like we as humanity, as we mentioned before, humanity sucks right now. We're screwed. Like everything is so bad, horrible. Like the more like cases open up. I don't know if you guys seen that case recently, like on TikTok. Just like a little side note, that case on TikTok about um this girl that, can I say that word? I don't know. This YouTube is very sensitive. That basically got rid of her kids, of her three children, and then tried to like say goodbye to this earth. And there's humans, there's people, women specifically, with children saying they support her because she had mental illnesses, like postpartum depression, basically. Which, yes, postpartum should be cured and treated, right? Like, I'm not against that. But how are you excusing doing that to your children just because you have mental issues? You know what I mean? Like, the world is really messed up right now. Okay. I'm a little scared for myself. We're, yeah. So, imagine God is not coming for us right now. And right now is horrible. It's really bad, you know? So to think what could possibly be so bad that God decided to flood the earth and burn those cities down. It's definitely a lot worse than it is now. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's all there really is to say, because that's really the only reasons why God did those things. It's not about just that. And evil, okay, I just read your other comment. I mean, yeah, it is still murder. I'm trying to know what to say on YouTube, because YouTube really censors a lot of things. But it is still that. It's just that, you know how the law sometimes has death sentences too, and there's jurors. Jurors decide, they're regular human beings that decide what the fate of that person is. It's kind of the same thing, love. It's not just about, oh, I'm God, I created this, I'm gonna throw it all away. It's not just about that, because God did give so many chances, and I'm telling you, He went, if I'm not entirely mistaken, He went from like 10 people. If there's 10 people that are good and that believe, I won't burn the city down, I won't flood the earth. And then He went down to like, okay, there's not 10, but at least 8 people who believe and who are righteous in their ways, I won't burn the city down. And there was no one. And then He went all the way down to, if there is just at least one more person besides obviously Lot's family that believes, I won't burn the city down. Like just one. The difference one person can make. You know what I mean? And there wasn't even one that was good. And I know you think evil is about perspective, but there's a lot of murderers out there. It's not perspective there. You know, like there's no perspective to go on about. I know a lot of people confuse murder with self-defense, and no, the Bible is all about self-defense, okay? Like, who wouldn't be in self-defense, you know what I mean? But yeah, evil is not a perspective, you know? I usually say I'm a bad person, because I am a horrible person, but it's not just about perspective, because I know I'm a horrible person. Like, I haven't done good like that to be like, oh, I'm a good person. And even if I have done a lot of good deeds, I wouldn't consider myself a good person. You know what I mean? I guess it's just a human perspective, yes, about what is good and what is bad. But at the end of the day, I feel like we can all collectively agree that murder, rape, is bad. You know? It's evil. That's evil. You know? I don't even want to get into the subject of a very bad, evil place known as the dark web. Right? You want to know about evil? Yeah. And still, can you imagine what the world has become to? That there's a website on that, and yet still, God hasn't flooded the earth and burned us all down just yet. So, imagine what they were doing back then. I don't want to imagine, actually. Let's try not to. That's just basically it. A little run through on the Bible, I guess. I didn't want to talk about it, and I ended up talking about it for like a while. I guess I'm kind of proud of myself. I mean, I don't mind having conversations like these. It's just, I don't like, I guess, I wouldn't say I would like posting about it. Like having a religious account and posting all about God, because, like I said, I'm still kind of like new into that in a way, and I wouldn't say I would be much informed to be like, oh, this scripture says this and that. And I also wouldn't like to be the content creators who just quote scriptures like that, because not everyone reads the Bible, and not everyone wants to base themselves off what the Bible says. You know what I mean? Which is why I try to give a little bit more examples onto what's going on and what happened that led to that point in the Bible. You know? I hope you could understand. I try my best. But like I said, I'm not forcing you to believe. It's okay to have your own questions. I know I did at some point in time. You know? Like, if you're so good, why is there evil? Alright? But I guess we forget a lot of times that we choose to be good or to be evil. We choose every single day what we want to do with our lives. And then we still end up doing the wrong decisions. And that's what makes us human, because we're not all knowing. And sometimes it's good to not know, like I mentioned before. Because if you did know, I mean, we would all be perfect. There would be no reason, really. There's no, like, you know? And when it comes to God, He also gives free will to their angels, you know? Which is why Satan exists. And Satan wasn't just himself, that he's the only one that defied God. No, Satan took, like, if I'm not entirely mistaken, like a majority of angels with him when he defied God. So, yeah, that's basically it. But yeah, maybe one day I'll talk a little bit more about Jesus and God Himself. I think sometimes sacrifices are meant to be made. And I feel like that's where you're wrong. And I don't want to say that you're wrong. But what more options do you want? Really? We have a free will. And yeah, we're also born without a choice. You know? Like, you're in your mother's womb, and basically your mother makes the choices for you until you're able to do your own choices. And even when you're able to do your own choices, it's like, follow the rules. You know what I mean? I guess it gets kind of complicated. Which is why we look at God Himself as our Father. Because sometimes it's like, why are you prohibiting me from eating candy at breakfast? But it's like, it's for your own good, honey. Like, it's not. Why are we questioning why you can't have candy at 3 in the freaking. I was about to say 3 in the freaking morning. You know, like, so early in the morning. You know? Just reasonably. Like, once you get. I feel like, even if you don't believe, I feel like you should ask God for understanding and knowledge and wisdom. This is top 3. So that you can understand the Word of God. And along the days, He will give you that understanding. You know? And yeah, you're always going to have questions. You're always. Because that's what makes you human. And you know what? God will always be there to answer. Whether it's through a burning bush, quite literally, through a stranger, through an enemy, or through someone you haven't even talked to in so long. God will always answer you. You're asking me what the point of praying is. It is pointless. Praying is pointless. Ugh. It is. You don't know how many times. Goodness gracious. Wait. Personal, right here. You don't know how many times I prayed. And here's the thing, from a perspective of someone who actually has a relationship with Christ, I prayed for something that I knew was God's will, because he not only told me, right? And there's so many ways God can talk to you, right? Like I said, through people you hate, through church, through pastors, right? Through people from church calling you up at 3 in the morning saying, oh, your certain situation, yeah, God told me to pray about you on that. Like, how the shit do you even know about that? And I'm telling you this because it actually happened to me. So there were so many things that I knew for a fact it was God's will. And even then it was pointless. It really was. And I prayed so much. And I never gave up. And here's the thing. Personally, there's a point in time where I hated God. And I told him, I hate you so much right now. I honestly can't. I can't. I know you exist. I know you're there. And because I know you're there, I know that you were the only one who could fix this. And I did everything you asked me to, and you still didn't do it. So, I don't know, maybe you just actually hate me. Maybe you actually hate me. You know? But, like I said, when it comes to believing in God, there's a spiritual warfare that goes through it. There is also another story in the Bible. I'm sorry that I keep bringing up the stories in the Bible, but they are great examples for a lot of our questions as humans. There is a story in the Bible where I think it's a city, I don't know, a specific person that prayed to God on something that they really, I think they needed, like salvation. You know what I mean? Like they needed to be rescued from somewhere, if I'm not entirely mistaken. And God was sending the gift, the miracle that they needed, that they were asking for, they were praying for. But because that city was sinning so much, it was so indulged in so much sin, and this is where spiritual warfare comes in. Their angels descended to bring forth this miracle. But because of their sins, there's legions of demons, right? So those angels basically had like a little warfare with the demons to get to you, to get to your miracle, basically, right? And that's basically how, once you get into the spiritual warfare of things, it makes a little bit more sense over here. Because trust me, I never understood it at first until I got into what spiritual warfare actually is and how it works spiritually. Because that's how prayers work, you know what I mean? It's not that God didn't hear you. It's not about it being God's plan or not. Because what does happen when it's you're praying and it's not God's plan, right? Because at that point it does become pointless. And the thing is, what's a baby if it doesn't cry for milk? You know what I mean? If a baby doesn't cry, how would you know what he wants? Now, God is all knowing. He knows what you want. And here we go with another story of the Bible. You know when Jesus himself cured the blind man from his blindness, right? Blindness. He asked him, what do you need? Or what do you want? And at some point you ask yourself, well, isn't that kind of pointless? Like, I'm blind, you know? Like, why are you asking me that? And that's the thing, that God wants to know what you want. Like, what do you want? Ask and you will be given. Seek and you will find. That is a Bible verse, by the way. You know? Ask and it will be given. Seek and you will find. So that's basically it. Now, when it comes to praying, we don't always get what we want, because as parents with children, we don't always get what we want because it's not always good for you, honey. Like, God is all knowing, and because He's all knowing, we know for a fact that He's not going to give you something that He knows for a fact is not going to be beneficial to you. Okay, now there is a Bible verse as well, and that says, you pray and you don't receive because you don't pray with the right intentions. You know, you're over here praying for, I don't know, oh God, I want a Ferrari, right? Realistically speaking, you're not just gonna get a Ferrari, right? What you should be asking is, because you don't ask right. That's the thing. That's the point of that verse. You're supposed to be asking, God, give me the strength to continue working so that I can eventually save up and earn enough for a Ferrari. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. Kind of like that. We need to be a little bit more like, God's not gonna give you $1 million, right? Now, when it comes to businesses and stuff like that, because I don't know if you've seen a lot, but I know for a fact that I've seen a lot. Like, oh, God worked so wonderfully, and I got so much opportunities because I didn't know I lost my job and I didn't have the money to start my own business, but God told me to start my own business, and all of a sudden I got like $5,000 to start my business. You know what I mean? Sometimes I tend to see those videos and I'm like, girl, and God does work in those ways too. God does randomly provide for you, like, with outrageous amounts of money out of nowhere. But we do also have to understand that most of those monies are going towards investments into something God is telling you to do. So God will always provide on what He's telling you to do, on what you want to do as well, what He's putting in your heart. Yeah, I should do this. You know, sometimes the desires in our heart do come from God Himself in what to pursue. You know what I mean? So that's another thing about prayer. Oh, it's okay. I'm not upset. I'm not upset. It's just something that I had to go through. You know, just a journey in my life. And I don't mind talking about it because I know that eventually I will. And maybe my testimony will help someone, but I just don't know how to speak on it right now because I feel like I don't hate God anymore. But it's just hard because I don't think I'm in a position right now to be like, oh, God got me from the pits of freaking hell to where I'm at right now. And I don't think where I'm at right now kind of, you know, gives off that vibe like, oh, I'm in a better place. Because I personally don't think I am. So we're just kind of saving that testimony. But I don't mind talking about it. It's still very, I wouldn't say recent because it's not recent, but it's still very heartfelt for me. Yeah. The basis of that, I guess, and I don't mind talking about it. I don't know if you want to know, but I will still say it. I went through a breakup, so that's basically it. There's a whole situation on that, and I went through so much, and I hurt so many people because I was being very selfish. I was being very selfish, so most of those consequences are very much mine. But I hated God because, okay, I made my mistakes, but I fixed them. I fixed every single mistake I made, and I I didn't force myself to be a better person. I was always a decent person, I guess. I would say I was always a decent person. It's just hard to believe that that person, significant other, won't lie to you or won't hurt you because of so many experiences revolving my family and stuff that I've heard online, you know? Like, that's why shit online doesn't help sometimes, okay? Because just because it's happened to someone else doesn't mean it's gonna happen to you, you know? So it's just mainly my fear that made me act a certain way towards that person, and that person was so lovely. And I turned that person into something completely different. But I still tried to fix things with him. And like I said, I fixed things. I did everything right. I did everything he asked of me, which was reasonably in a relationship. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't want me talking to this person, I won't talk to it. It's reasonable, you know? Like, it's not about control. It's about being reasonable. Like, if your partner is asking you not to talk to someone, whether male or female, I feel like you should try to address it, of course. Like, oh, like, what's going on? Like, what vibes are you getting? Like, what's going on? Um, just reasonably. I just personally always heard and always saw that, you know, friends before significant others or whatever, you know. And I also, I mean, I never really had friends, so for me, it was like, I don't want to give up my friends. I guess. And he was right about them. And I knew he was right about them because nobody gets past me, personally. I know the evil that's out in the world because I'm horrible myself, like I said. So, I knew that they were horrible friends. I just didn't want to stop talking to them. Because, I mean, I was, but the moment he said it, it was like, oh, I'm not going to stop talking to them just because you fucking said. You know what I mean? So, it was just like that. Like, I didn't want him to have that control. Like, even though I was going to stop talking to those friends because they weren't good people, just because he said it, it was like, oh, no. New. You know? It's just family trauma, really, that made me act upon like that. But I fixed it. I was I calmed down. I let go of my fear, and I worked for that relationship, man. Like, I really did. I spent 2 years um working for that relationship. And the thing that I was mad about God with is that I did my part. Yes, I made mistakes. I fixed them. Your part as God himself was to fix it like you said you would. Right? Because the Bible does say plant your seed, but I, the Lord, will make it flourish, right? Kind of like how that verse goes. And I guess it didn't really work like that. So it was like I was mad about God because of that. You know? Oh, I finished the other finger. But I still love him very much, very dearly. This other person. And I will always love him. But we just... At some point, I did learn that God can't go against someone's free will. And yes, that person did love me so much, and he did so much for me, and he gave up so much for me. You guys don't understand. I genuinely believed, and I still do, that he loved me more than I ever could. But things change, right? People change. And because of that, God can't go against someone's free will. God did place in his heart to forgive me and to try again with me, but his choice was different. You know? That's the only thing God can do. God can place, you know, oh, forgive this person. You know, he can place in your heart to forgive someone who has prayed for you and has prayed for your forgiveness. But it's about you whether you want to forgive them or not, you know? And I guess I learned that later on in life. Up until shit. Up until now, I guess. So there's that. And during that, like I said, I'm not a good person. I don't want to talk about it, but during that, I was also seeing someone else while I was. I mean, I guess I gave up after. Wait, let me check the timeline real quick. I gave up okay, let me tell you something. I gave up every single day on trying to fight for him because I was like, I'm not gonna beg a man. I'm not gonna fight for a man. He wants to leave, he can leave. That's always been how I thought, personally. Um, right? Like, who gives a shit? You're a man. Like, what am I gonna do? Cry about it? I did. But, yeah. I was seeing someone else after like a year or so of like trying to fight for him and trying to fix things. So I was seeing someone else while also trying to fix things with him. So that does make me a bad person. I'm sorry. And the thing is, I was messing around with this other guy. This other guy knew that I was crying every single day and begging, in a way, for this other guy. And he still treated me with so much care, and I love him so much. That's another story, which I want to strangle him too for that. But he was so gentle and so sweet as well. Okay, I feel like the people that I met that I've actually had feelings for have always been so sweet. And no, he wasn't controlling. No, the first guy wasn't controlling. I feel like the second guy was. Don't let him hear that. But no, the first guy wasn't controlling. It was just more about him feeling secure about it. You know, like I said, I don't know if you were here earlier when I mentioned, like, I've always worked with men. I've always surrounded myself with male friends. That is just a thing. I wouldn't consider myself a hoe, right? I know a lot of people do just because I have male friends, but no. No. It's just like that. I meant, there's a whole lore to this, but no, he's not a bad person. Trust me, I was the controlling one. I was the toxic one. I wouldn't let him leave the house. We were living together. I wouldn't let him leave the house, not even to go to work. I was the only one working because I wanted it to be that way, right? I wouldn't let him leave the house at all. And when he did get a job, because obviously he wanted to be the man, he was very providing and very caring of me, and he wanted to give me the whole world. Like, and we didn't really have much during that time. Like, we were young. I was like 15. So yeah, I mean, he looked at me like such like a valuable jewel, and I was like, honey, like, let's calm down. Like, I feel like he was in the honeymoon phase. That's why I never took him seriously. You know, I loved him so much, but I never took his love and his admiration seriously, which is what affected my relationship, right? But I learned that too late. So. Anyways, with this other guy that I eventually started seeing, I mean, he knew he was a little bit controlling at the beginning. This other guy that I was seeing after like a year and a half trying to fix things with my ex, he was a little controlling. He didn't really understand why I couldn't get over my ex. Like, honey, I don't love like everybody else. Like, I know a lot of people just go from relationship to relationship, but I can't. I don't know how to just love momentarily, and I still pour out my heart for this man. Like, you don't understand. I love this man so much. I can't stop loving him, okay? And, well, I thought being with someone else would help me get over him, but it didn't. So I was with this guy, and he was very controlling. In a way, I guess, because he was trying to rush me into getting over my ex so that I would date him. In a way. Um, but I treated him so bad because I was like, man, I'm not gonna take you seriously just because you're forcing me to get over someone I love very deeply. Like, you don't know how to love, you know? He hated when I say that. He hated when I said you don't know how to love. But I mean, I felt like it was true because why are you trying to rush someone's healing process and getting over their ex? You know what I mean? So that's why I never took him seriously either. Yeah, personally. Um, but then I started loving him. So, so he was also living with me. Um, during those few months that he was here, he was here 9 months. We knew each other 9 months. Um, and I don't know. After wait, how much was it? 9. Yeah, after like 7 months of like living together and basically doing everything like a couple does, like basically like we kind of were a couple, but I always told him we're not dating, you know? But yeah, I guess after like 7 months, I started actually leaning towards that initial attraction, I guess, that there was with him, and I started loving him. And it was sweet, it was gentle, but of course, nothing would ever overcome the love that I had for my ex. So it was like, if it had to be between you and him, of course it would be him. You know what I mean? And he knew that. He knew that. He would tell me how he would feel. Of course, he would express himself. And he would be like, I know that you would never choose me. And I would be like, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't. Because it was the truth. Like, I'm always going to tell you the truth. You know, like, especially about my feelings, you know? So, yeah, I was really mean to him. But, I mean, no, it's not funny. I was very mean to him. I kicked him out like 5 times or more. I mean, that I remember, it was 5 times. He said it was more. And then my family also says it was like a lot more than that. But I don't remember really. Like, I was so disassociated because I was very heartbroken. So I don't really remember. Anyways. Yeah, but then after like those 8 months, 8.5 months, I was like, you know what? I'm convinced that I'm never gonna fix things with. I was about to say his name. I'm convinced that I'm never gonna fix things with my ex. So I'm gonna stay with him. I know that sounds very selfish, and it is very selfish, which I'm a little bit glad he left. But I mean, we're getting to that part, right? But basically, after a while, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna fix things with him, but I want to see where things go with this guy, right? I traveled to where my ex lives because he does live far, like very far. I traveled all the way to where he lived, which was 15 hours away, and to break things off with him because I like doing everything in person. Personally, just, like, things are better said in person, you know what I mean? So I went, and this other guy took that as like I was getting back with him. You know what I mean? Like, I was never gonna choose this other guy, right? Like, I was always gonna put him above, like, him, basically. And no, the truth is, I went to end things and kind of surprised this other guy that, okay, I actually want to try things with you. And during those Mm. Wait, I'm kind of getting mad. During those days that I was over there, I was there for like 3 weeks. I'm not gonna lie, because I have family over there as well, which is how I met him. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I went over there 3 weeks. I was staying with my family members and stuff, while also visiting his family. I love his family so much. I still am in touch with his family. Their family. I mean, we kind of like grew up together. You know, we met like very young. So yeah. I would stay over with his grandma to like sleep over and stuff. Cause like I said, we were very close. You know, we're very close. So I wouldn't sleep with him like in the same room or anything. Like I would sleep with his grandma like in the living room and stuff, I guess. And my mom would be there too. Like me and my mom would sleep there too. You know what I mean? Like it's just like we were very close, I guess. But yeah, I went over there to end things with him. And I didn't tell this other guy that I was going over there to end things with him. So, um, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Hello. And no, I don't have a boyfriend, girl. Like, I'm kind of trying to go through the whole freaking um lore of my life recently. But yeah, like I said, um I didn't tell this other guy that I was living with that I went to go break up with him, because I kind of wanted to come back and surprise him and be like, I want to start dating you, you know? It was stupid. Now that I think about it, I think I made the wrong decisions, because I also joke. Okay, wait. I also joke really badly. My jokes are so horrible. And he told me to promise him that I wouldn't do something over there with him. And I honestly said, ooh, I can't promise you shit. It was a horrible joke. But the thing is, when we had that conversation, we were also talking about like really horrible traumas and shit. So I was trying to lighten the mood by trying to be funny, and I guess it didn't work out, because after that I was like, no, but seriously, and I started talking about like more trauma and shit. So he chose the wrong moment to ask that question. Okay, so that's number one. He asked me that question. I couldn't promise him that, and then he also didn't know that I was going over there to break up with him, basically to end things. So that was that. And basically, while I was over there, this other guy started seeing someone else, and he basically told me like, after you come back from your trip, I'm gonna move out. Like I'm gonna get an apartment somewhere else and shit. And I was like, you're joking, right? Like I thought he was joking for a minute. Like I was like, honey, you know, I kicked him out so many times that it was like, you're joking, you know, like you're joking. But no, he was serious. And this was December 2025, and he is still with his girlfriend to this day. I think they're living together, so. And I'm gonna tell you, I did try to fight for that relationship as well. I did, because, like I said, the way that I love someone is true and genuine. It just doesn't go away, and it still hasn't gone away. I still have a lot of love and appreciation for that man. He was very gentle. I actually still have him as my wallpaper here on this phone. Which is why I was trying not to show the screen. Um, but I need to take him off because he does have a girlfriend, and that is very disrespectful. Um, but he, like I said, since he was there during the process of me like trying to let go of my ex, he really became my best friend, and I still consider him my best friend. He was such a comfort to me. Like I would come home to him after work or whatever, and I would literally cry for, and I would cry to him, and he would always be there. And you know, it took him a while. to kind of get into his head that I was not fully over my ex, because at first, like I said, he would get mad. He would get mad. But my family would talk to him, and I would just, you know what, I would lock myself up in the bathroom, just cry alone, and then eventually, like, like after like 3 weeks or so, like, he would be like, it's okay, just cry, you know. So yeah. So basically, yeah, that's kind of like the lore of today. I'm not gonna say anything else because I don't know if his girlfriend will find me. So I don't want to say anything else. Because if I do, they're gonna get in trouble. He's gonna get in trouble. That's basically the lore. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna fight over a woman. You know, I'm not gonna fight with a woman over a guy. That's what I'm gonna say. I know my worth. When it comes to him. When it comes to my ex, I don't know shit about my worth, okay? Like, don't even... Self-worth? Who is she? No, but seriously. So yeah, I basically broke up with 2 guys at the same time. I mean, just think about it. I considerably only had 1 ex, right? My only ex. But this other guy that I was living with, he thinks we dated, but we didn't. So he calls me his ex, but I'm not his ex because I very clearly stated we're not dating because I'm trying to get with my ex, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's basically, like I said, lore. And I'm still trying to get better. I have promised to not hurt anyone in any way, shape, or form. And I guess I'm trying to be better. Trying to change. I was a sweetheart when I was a child, and a lot of people ruin that. A lot of people ruin you being a nice person. So it's not that it's hard, it's just that I don't trust people. I'm still nice to people, it's just, I don't know, it's very hard to trust them. It's very hard to create a friendship, a relationship like that. No. I'm always like on edge with everyone, I guess. And that's why I've never really had a So yeah. Like I said, I feel like a lot of traumas and issues that you personally internalize with situations that go around with your family or experiences that you heard other people had really does affect you, and especially in relationships. So that's kind of why I feel like we should fix those issues before we, get into a relationship, because it really does affect you know. Thank you so much. I love you. I mean, I try to be nice. I try to be sweet. But in the end, I know I'm not. So, let me tell you something. I know a lot of people say that. I know a lot of people say I'm sweet and I'm nice and isn't that? It's just, I know I'm not. I know people lie a lot. I don't know why you're believing me right now. I don't know why you believe I'm a sweetheart. You know? Like, I could be lying to you about the situation, you know what I mean? That's why I'm always on edge about people. I don't really believe them, like, right away. So, that's why it's kind of hard to make friends in a way. Especially a lot of people hate me for some reason. Like, that's why I'm kind of used to the hate that I get, like, on TikTok and shit. But I get a lot of hate, okay? Like, even in person. That's why I'm kind of scared to go back to work. Because I had so many issues with my coworkers. Don't even get me started. My coworkers hate me every single time, and I don't get fired. I quit because of those same reasons, because obviously jobs don't want to fire you, but they push you so far that you quit. Okay, like literally the last job I left, and did go report it to H, like not HR, but because HR was like kind of like involved in their fucking bullshit. But sorry, but I did go to like workforce to kind of report it, and then they told me to go make a report to the actual company. And I was like, damn, I didn't know it was that serious. I mean, I know it was legally serious, but I didn't know, like, I had to do all the legal stuff. You know what I mean? Shit. But anyways, I didn't do that because I was like, it's gonna take a while. um, I mean, here's the thing. What I think my take on that. Um, yeah, I had bad experiences in past experiences that made me this way, and especially my family. I blame my family a lot. Okay, it's okay. I've told them in their faces. Anyways, but the thing is, you choose who you want to be, and I chose to be that way because of my experiences. You know what I mean? And I knew it was wrong, but it was like, who gives a shit about people? You know what I mean? Like, we're all gonna die anyways. You know, like, why should I give a shit? You know? So I've always been mean to people. I've always been rude. I've always been selfish, prideful. So, you know, that's kind of where it leads up to. I chose that, you know? And in a way, I still choose it because I still think it's reasonably, because that's kind of how you survive in this world, apparently. Because you can never really trust anyone, you know? And why should you? Reasonably. But that's why I think I'm a bad person, because I chose it. I knew what I was doing, you know? That's kind of. If you do bad, if you make bad mistakes, it doesn't make you a bad person. I do agree with that. But when you make bad choices voluntarily, it does make you a bad person, you know? So that's just kind of where I'm at. I am trying to change, which is why I'm a little bit more nicer, I guess. Um, but yeah, going back to that, my coworkers started saying, they started this little rumor that I was trying to hit on this guy that, like I said, okay, number one, this guy is my brother's friend that he's known from high school. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, I don't even talk to this guy. I didn't even talk to him as much. I didn't even have as much shifts with him when I was working, so I don't know what the shit that I went on to. The only time I was talking to him was, it's because he would come up to me, dude. Like, obviously I'm gonna talk to my coworkers if they come up to me. Like, I'm not gonna be mean. And I feel like you should have a good relationship with your coworkers because it makes the energy and the environment of the workplace kind of go by faster. So it's very important for me to have a good relationship with my coworkers, even if it's just small, you know. So yeah, the only shift I had with him, like, this girl, because she was a manager, picked him up and took him elsewhere, and they left me alone working, which I didn't mind. Like, okay, whatever the fuck, you know, I don't give a shit, go do what you want to do. And then after, like, he came back to work, he started like talking to me and chatting, and I was like, oh yeah, we got work to do, honey. Like, we don't got time to chat, right? Just open your box, attend people, I gotta go work, right? But he kept trying to talk to me, so I guess whatever. Anyways, regardless of that, um that was just like once. Well, it happened various times where, like, she would pick him up and take him during work hours. By the way, he was clocked in during this, okay? So, like I said, she was a friend of mine too. Like, I loved her so much. I love her so much platonically. I still do. So it was a little heartbreaking because I thought for the first time I was gonna have a friend. Like I said, I've never really had friends like that. So I thought I was actually gonna have a nice, loyal friend, and I was mistaken in a way. I mean, I knew the kind of person she was, but I was like, mean girl and mean girl. It's okay. So, yeah. And then she started accusing me, and then we were having like this dinner for December. Um, like a posada, basically. Like a cooking at one of the managers' house. And I mean, we all had like a little meeting inside the store, and we were chatting and everything, and well, there was workers there, right? And I stayed behind with another worker, not the same one, with another worker. I was like, well, I didn't, because everyone went to like the lunch room, the lunch area, to talk about the posada, and I kind of just stayed behind with this other guy because I never worked with him. Like, I only worked with him like once, so like I wanted to get to know him a little bit more, I guess. Not in that way, of course, because I mean, I would see him around the store and we would talk. Like, we were friends too. It's just I've never really worked with him like that, you know? So I never really had time to talk to him. So I wanted to talk to him while everyone else was over there. And I also didn't want to leave him alone in the cash register while everyone was like cooking out and he was the only one working, you know what I mean? So I stayed behind. It was approximately like 5 minutes, no more than that. And they started looking, felt their freaking eyes on me, like, and then I looked over at them and they were looking at me like really bad. And I was like, they don't actually think I'm flirting with this guy, you know? And it was so stupid because neither of the guys that I mentioned liked the girls. So it was so stupid. Like, you guys are making rumors and being jealous of me over a guy that doesn't even want you is crazy. I don't even make rumors and shit like that over a guy that I'm actually dating. Girl, like, what's wrong with you? But anyways, I, being the good friend that I am, because I'm always like this, like, I always try to respect my girls' feelings, I backed away from these people. I stopped talking to them, actually. I changed my shifts. I stopped working with them. Right, the second guy, like I said, I never really worked with him anyway, so like, just that first guy. And they still didn't give a shit. They still stayed stuck. Okay, I can't fucking speak. They still stayed talking about me, and it turned into a whole dilemma because then the store manager, which she takes the side of obviously her little assistant managers. So, so the store manager got in the cheeseman or whatever, and then she wanted to get rid of me. Mind you, I was being trained for manager as well. Okay, so this was very stupid, but they base themselves off of so much drama. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that drama is literally all women base themselves off of. That's why I hate women. Okay, let me tell you, this is why I stopped pursuing women for friendships. Okay, and this even accumulated to that factor, right? So they started obviously making that drama with the store manager and whatever, and the store manager used that drama against me, saying, "Oh, I got various complaints from customers that you were full on making out with these coworkers in front of the like in front of the registers." And I was like, first off, that is not even allowed. Number one, we're not allowed to be two people in the front of cash registers unless there's a lot of lines. And do you think customers wouldn't be complaining and being argüenderos in front of the freaking store if that was happening? Like, let's just fully be honest. That's number one. Number two, they have cameras in the front registers. I was like, go check the cameras right now. Go check the cameras right now, and I want to freaking actually see that happening. First of all, I hate PDA. I hate PDA in public, and that was something that was mentioned by my ex a lot because he's very PDA shit. Right? I hate it. I don't like it. So that's the second one. Like, I hate PDA. Why would I do that? I get secondhand embarrassment when I see people kissing. Like, I don't mind it, right? Like, go do your shit. But I get embarrassment when I do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like it. So that's another one. So I was like, why are we doing this in the workplace? I'm very professional. That's another one. So why would I be doing this? I focus a lot on my work. Okay, that's why you wanted me to be a manager, right? Like, did we forget that part? Did we forget that part? And she was like, well, I don't know. I don't have time to check the cameras, but I got several complaints from customers that you were doing that. And I was like, okay, well, I am not taking that as an answer until I see the cameras. You know what I mean? Not that hard to just go check the cameras. Mind you, as a manager, I was trained how to check the cameras. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? Go check the cameras. You could do it. Like, I'm not moving shit, even though I know a little bit how to. You go check the cameras. You know? Let's both physically see what's going on there. Mind you, they had a favorite manager there that was actually having full-on intercourse in the office. Okay? That was a well-known rumor, and they had video evidence of that happening. And she didn't fire that girl. They actually gave her a freaking store to manage herself. So her fucking telling me lies like that and then saying, oh my goodness, it is so prohibited and banned to do that, is crazy to me. You know what I mean? Maybe one day I'll out who I'm talking about. But for now, I guess I kind of want to get that off my chest. So, yeah, I have a lot of lore when it comes to workplaces because people here don't give a shit. They really don't. So. It's not. Here's the thing. If I were to surround myself with good people, the real me wouldn't even surface. Why? Because I don't trust people. I don't trust even if they're good. Even if they're actually real, genuine, good people. I just emotionally. Here's the thing. I'm always honest. Like I said previously, I'm always honest about everything. If I don't like your outfit, you look fucking ugly. That's it. Like there's nothing more to add on top of it. There's nothing less. We're not gonna sugarcoat anything. I don't like sugarcoating anything. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? And that's just how I am. This is how I am. This is something that I've tried to lessen a little bit because not everyone likes the truth, you know? So this is how I'm trying not to hurt people by not being so honest. So even if I do hang out with good people, it's like I'm still gonna be honest. I'm still gonna be myself. It's just I'm not gonna be able to build that emotional relationship with you. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna be the type of person to call you up when I need you. Because realistically, why would I need you? You know, I don't want to need you for shit. Even if it's just to cry. Even if it's just, you know, like a shoulder to cry on. I don't want that. You know? I mean, I know that there is a great person inside me too. Yes, technically, yes. I am an okay person. And it's not that I'm scared to get hurt again because I know that what I've gone through has been so much pain that I don't think anyone else can hurt me, really. Like, yeah. And I've changed my ways to being honest about everything. So if people want to ask me emotional questions to get to know me emotionally, that's fine. I'm going to answer. Like if it's a freaking kindergarten questions, you know how freaking kindergartens, they ask you about your whole freaking life story, like shit. And I'm gonna answer like a freaking kindergarten question, but I'm not gonna. I don't know how to get attached emotionally, so when I do, like these other two people that I mentioned, which is my ex and this other guy, it's very hard for me to let go. And it has been hard for me to let go of both of them. So, you know what I mean? It's just, I guess, kind of that. It is defense mechanism. That's what it's called. It is a defense mechanism. But like I said, I've changed my ways in a way, and now it's just like I can answer anything without any problem, including emotional questions. Like I said, the subject upon my ex is a little sensitive, but it's still questions I can answer. You know what I mean? Just like I did with you, where I explained kind of the whole basis of the lore and everything. You know, but it doesn't mean at the end of the day that I'm gonna call someone up just because they know my whole entire life story. You know what I mean? I don't know how to work that way. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. Like at the beginning, it was so it was a defense mechanism, which is what hurt my relationship. But since I did genuinely grow and I did genuinely change, now it's not something that affects me anymore because I've already been affected enough. So nothing really hurts me or affects me anymore. You know? So even if someone knows like my deepest, darkest secrets and they decide to reveal it to the whole world, I'd be like, yeah, I did do that. I did say that. So what? What you gonna do? You know what I mean? It doesn't affect me, I guess, anymore. So, I'm a very complicated person, I guess. If I can trust. I have trusted. I've trusted my ex. And this other person. Like I said, I've only trusted 2 people. Pretty much. Like I said, very hard for me. And the way that I love both of them is so different. You know? And because I've trusted and I've loved them so much, I have changed. And that's why this is the new me. New and improved, beautiful me. But, yeah. I mean, I had to lose them to change, which is horrible. But I changed. It doesn't mean I can trust people. Because that's the thing, I don't know how to build up to that. Like, I just, no me sale, no me nace. You know, I can't get it out like normal human beings can. I remember I used to pray to God, like, help me have human emotions. Like, help me, you know, because I thought I was broken as a human being because I couldn't process emotions like other people. I couldn't just love easily like other people and want a relationship. Because here's the thing, before I met my ex, I didn't believe in love. I didn't believe in marriage. I didn't believe in having kids. And if I did, I would get inseminated. I did like sperm bank, basically. That was my goal, I guess, when I was like 12, 13. I started thinking like this at a very young age. um, yeah, I always thought that way, I guess. And I don't know. I couldn't hate people. I lived in a very toxic household, and I always wanted to have that in me to hate certain family members so that I wasn't able to forgive them, because I would be so easily forgiving and I would hate that about me. Like, I would dislike it so much that I couldn't hate someone to the point where I can't forgive them no matter what they did, right? So I remember when I would be so persistent to God, praying to be able to hate someone. And I never could. So it's just the way that I process emotions. I remember I asked him, help me learn how to love. And the thing is, I knew how to love, because the reality is that I love these people so much that I couldn't hate them. And I still love these people so much, even though I want to freaking throw them against the wall. But, you know what I mean? Just kind of like that, I guess. Oh my goodness, it's 12:21. I need to sleep. I don't know what I have booked tomorrow. I think... forgot what I had tomorrow. I know I have. Oh, I have my job meeting on Tuesday. So, yeah, I got hired, I guess. I didn't really want to work, but I guess I have to provide for my family, like always. So, yeah. I have to go though. It was nice talking to all of you, especially you. Thank you so much. What kind of music do I like? I'm kind of all over the place too, girl. Like, I don't really know. Um, I listen to a lot of stuff. Mainly, and very recently, for obvious reasons, depressing Mexican music. That's probably like the best kind of depressing music you'll find, personally. Especially when you wanna like get all of your emotions out and you wanna scream and yell at someone. Yeah, definitely those. Um, Songs in English that I can name from the top of my head. Tennessee Whiskey, String By. I think String By is a really good song. I don't know who it's by. Like, I don't remember the artist. But it's basically like this TikTok song, I guess, that I've heard on TikTok. It's called String By, and then kind of like, I like old music too. I guess you would say. Old music. I can't name one from the top of my head, but old music. ¿Cómo va esa? Uh, I think it's called like Stand By Me. I like that one. That one's cute. And like love songs, I guess. Mexican love songs. Basically. Oh, Karim Leon is a really good artist, okay? Let me tell you. His songs, 10 out of 10. Not all of them, but his songs are pretty good. Okay, sorry, that was my brother. He likes to be annoying. He was asking for my mom. I think my mom went with the neighbors, so I think I'm good for like a few more minutes before I have to go to sleep. I was trying to go to sleep early today, but I guess not. You know what? I was drinking this. You're probably wondering what this is, and it's basically a concoction of like chamoy and like a bunch of salt and tajin, of course. It's basically like squirt and tajin and salt. kind of like a rusa. It's really good. I mainly drink it like as a snack. Like when I don't have like candy, I drink this. It's really good. I put a lot of salt on it. I put a lot of salt on everything. But It just make taste a lot better, you know? Oh, I didn't even see that. Hi. I'm doing good. Welcome. I was about to log off. You actually think you have great taste in music? What do you usually listen to? Like top three. At the top of your head. What are your top three songs? 10 out of 10. Recommendations for 2026. I don't know. I wouldn't even be able to answer that question, to be honest. I feel like I haven't been listening to music recently. I know, right? It is tough. I feel like if someone asked me that question, I would be like, absolutely not. Goodbye. I don't know. Top three songs? Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I can't even remember stuff. I can't even, like, from the top of my head, I don't even know what songs I listen to. I mean, wait, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I'll get it somehow. Oh, you see, I was listening to music, girl. You see that? I can't. Look, these are the mixes that I usually go through. Oh, you see, I do listen to music. I watch a lot of I watch a lot of YouTube growth videos. You said? Um, guess I mean I wouldn't know. You see, these are all my playlists. I have a bunch of variety. Camilo for sure makes really good music. I love him so much. Right, 10 out of 10. This is like my Christian playlist. I don't really like Christian music, so I made a playlist of the songs that I did like. So, um, you see, mainly love songs. This one that says J, and this one are mainly like love songs. Look, mainly Spanish, right? Old Spanish songs. Holy shit. I think these playlists are public. Yeah, these playlists are public. You can see it on my page. You see? Just Spanish. You see Karin Leon right there. Oh. Oh, I accidentally deleted one. Jesus, I don't know what it was. Yeah. I unfortunately be listening to Cristiano Ronaldo songs, so I mean technically he's a cheater, right? Speaking of that, why are y'all hating on Angela and not on Christian? Like he's the one who broke up the family, not her, Angela. You know what I mean? It's like just he's a cheater. I mean, hasn't he always been? Why are we hating on the girl and not on the guy? You know what I mean? I have never heard any of these songs. Girl, I'm gonna search them up. I don't think I could play them because then I'm gonna get copyrighted. But I will listen to them. Hmm. I think I've heard the second one, like the artist. Not too much, but I think I might have. I'll put him on my watch later. Definitely hear them. You know. But yeah, I listen to a lot of like Spanish Mexican song, you know? I guess. For sure, for sure. Um, like I said, Karim Leon is a good song artist, for sure. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'd be listening to everything, but also something very like specific at the same time. Like I said, like Spanish songs and stuff. Oh, girl, my Wi-Fi almost went out. Crazy work. Hmm. Let's see. Oh, you see, this is another playlist in English. Hmm. Arctic Monkeys, of course, classic, right? Like, yeah, mainly Spanish songs. Like, what I've noticed is mainly like Spanish songs. Mm. Oh, these are nice too. You see, like Tennessee Whiskey, Neon Moon, The Rain. This guy makes really good like, I think they're cover songs. I don't know if they're like his. You see, this one is String by Mac. I don't know how to say his last name. Frank Sinatra makes good music, you know? I used to listen to French songs. See? Like Dernier Danse. Just like that, right there. And this one. French. I don't anymore. Like I said, I don't really be listening. Someone's like this. See that? I have a whole bunch of freaking playlist of whatever this is. I guess. Oh look, this is an old playlist. I guess. See, like old song. Yeah, I used to listen to BTS. You see, I would say videos, BTS videos. I mean, I don't listen to them anymore. I don't keep up to date with like BTS and stuff. Um, you could call me a fake fan or whatever. No, but I mean, it's just I grew up. I guess it wasn't just a phase, but um, I don't know. It's just I grew up and there's just responsibilities that I have to do when I couldn't keep up to date like 24/7. You know. Mm, that is so nice. You don't know any Spanish songs? Girl, there should be playlist on like my YouTube. You go to my YouTube and then you go playlist. There should be like music playlist on there that you could watch for sure. I made those public because like when I was like out with friends or with my family and my phone didn't have battery, I put them public because those are the ones that I listen to most. So that's why those are playlists that are public. Girl, you don't gotta be Mexican to be listening to good Spanish songs. You know what I mean? I mean, for sure. Look. Wait, I don't have my Instagram here. Hold on. What was my Instagram? I don't know what my Instagram is. Because I only have line on this phone. I don't know where my other phone is. Just give me a minute. I have like 3 phones here. Yeah, I don't have Wi-Fi right now. Shit. I forgot what my Oh, you know what? In some of my YouTube videos, I put my Instagram. Let me go check through my YouTube videos what my Instagram is, because I never remember. I don't really use Instagram like that, so you know. Let's see. Damn, I don't have my Instagram here. Crazy work. Damn, that is so weird. Enrique Iglesias. Girl. I used to hear him. Like, for sure. Like, when I was younger. And, I mean, I still hear, like, some of his music, but I don't know if he has released any more new music, to be honest. Oh, look, you see? I put it in my description. Oh, okay, my Instagram is very basic. You see? It's just Lynn's Beauty 89. That's my Instagram. Honestly, sometimes I go over my Instagram because I feel like I'd be posting like embarrassing stuff. But I'm in my influencer era, okay? Like, let's just not take a minute to judge here. Where are you from though? Like, I haven't even asked you that, right? Like, I'm being so selfish and I'm not asking you guys where you guys are from. But where are you from? Way up north. Crazy. Yeah, I live like south, basically. Canada. Crazy work. Crazy work. For sure. Yeah, I live very down south, so yeah. In the ghetto, basically. In the ghetto. It could explain a few things, you know what I mean? Isn't the only place I've traveled outside of Texas is Georgia, which I've heard so much stuff about Georgia that it's very ghetto. And let me tell you something. Personal experience in the airport. Oh my goodness. They were so rude. So rude in the airport of Georgia. So rude and so ghetto. Like, entitled much? Like, you know what I mean? Like, calm down, girl. You not all that. You know what I mean? Like, I hate when people feel so entitled. But they were so rude. It's like we were asking, like, it was like our first time on airplane, like at any airport really. So we were like, girl, where is this at? You know? And they were like, so rude. Like, what the shit? Why are you rolling your eyes at me, girl? Like, I don't live here like you do. The fuck? So rude. I've heard a lot of stuff about Georgia being ghetto and like them being racist and stuff. I I personally only experienced it in the airport, and maybe because we went like a little bit kind of like off grid from like Georgia within itself. Um, but I don't know. We went to like a little tourist town, so maybe that's why we didn't really get to meet the people who were actually from Georgia. And we were just surrounded by tourists, I guess. Maybe that's why. I thought everyone was so nice. I feel like people who have money and travel a lot are the most happiest people on this earth, okay? Because every time like I go somewhere new and they're like tourists or something, they're the most nicest people ever. You know, hands down. So Canadians are famously nice. How you know that? I actually never heard anything about Canada personally. I just know they have a lot of like restrictions or something like that. I think I've heard that just because like YouTube monetization and like TikTok getting paid shit. You know, because that's kind of like the videos I watch more often. So yeah, that's kind of all I've heard about Canada. Mississippi? I've never heard anything about Mississippi. I've heard a lot about Dallas, New York, Houston, Alabama, wherever there is, you know. I'm not into much world geography, but those are like the places I've heard more like they're racist. So, I don't know, I've never really heard about Mississippi, girl. Girl, deadass. Are you allowed to like to comment that? You don't get flagged. Mm, free healthcare. I mean, if you were doing the stupid shit Americans do, you would understand why healthcare isn't free. Okay? Have you watched Red Bull ads? I mean, that explains everything. Okay? Like, just stupid shit. Stupid shit. Like, we don't have free healthcare because we do stupid shit. Okay? Like, Americans think they have like 9 lives here. Like, who are we kidding? You know what I mean? Reasonably so. Reasonably, we're paying for our own consequences. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, let's just be serious here. You get a little crazy. I kind of stopped doing my little things. Oh, look. I made my 2 little fingers. Look. Did you see this? I was going to make my little gloves. I got 2 fingers. They look very thick though, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of don't like it, but whatever. It's fine. We're gonna make another one. You gotta remind me, I made 4 single crochet into the freaking magic ring. And then I did 2 increases, okay? Because if I forget, I'm going to mess up the pattern. I said 4 single crochet, right? Okay, 4 and then 2 increases. Where's the little gold thing? But do all places love Canada though? I've never heard someone say, I want to move to Canada. Personally, right? You know, like, I've never in my life heard someone say, let's move to Canada. How's the food over there, by the way? Is it good? You guys have Mexican food over there? Like, genuinely? Have you ever been to Mexico? Do you know what real Mexican food tastes like? I imagine Canada has Mexican food, right? I mean, I would hope so. I mean, I feel like every place has Mexican food, right? Like, they got to. Okay, great. It's good to know, you know? I'm so happy you guys have Mexican food. Is it authentic? Who knows? But at least y'all have Mexican food. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of TikTok videos saying, this is what Mexicans eat. And it's like so not true. Like, I don't know where you got that information from. Like, deadass. I'm not really a fan of tacos. So, yeah. I'm a very picky person. And usually, los tacos, like, not everyone knows how to make them. And I'm not saying only in Mexico the tacos are good, because I've been to almost every Mexican restaurant over there in Mexico, and they're not all so great. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not in love with all of them. It's just very rare. And the ones that I do like, they're like, oh my goodness, these aren't true authentic Mexican tacos. But it's like, it doesn't matter. These are the only ones I like. You know, like, I'm very picky. So it's just me. Here in America, I rarely have tacos. Rarely. Probably like once every 2 years. If there's a family reunion, obviously that's like kind of like their go-to. I just personally just get McDonald's or something, because I don't like the tacos here. They taste even worse. A melting pot of immigrants. You know what? I've heard, yeah, I was doing my research. I heard that you can get, what you mean? Like the status, like Mexicans can get a status over there in Canada to live over there and stuff, like a residency, kind of. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true. But, yeah, like, you can get like a passport to go to Canada, I guess, as a Mexican who doesn't have American papers, of course. Girl, we don't live in igloos. Holy shit. I almost messed up. Holy shit. Oh. What time is it for you guys? Is it the same time? It's almost gonna be 1 over here. I've heard it is gorgeous. Don't tempt me. I might go. You know where I wanted to go? just because, like I mentioned, I've never really traveled much. I've gone to like obviously Galveston, which is right next to Houston. I've gone to Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, um, and obviously Georgia, and of course Mexico, like various parts in Mexico. But I don't know. I was thinking of going to Colorado to visit because it's a place where my uh, family members go a lot during like summer or like vacation wise, and it has like really good scenery. So I really want to go to Colorado. But I've heard great things about Canada. I've heard it's really cold though. I imagine it's like during seasons, no? Or is it like always cold? How many legs do you have, girl? How many? Like 20? What are you gonna tell me? Y'all invented skinny dipping? Girl. Wait, actually, who invented skinny dipping? That's kind of weird. Just bathing in a lake of freaking chemicals naked is crazy. Crazy work. Damn. Are those Fahrenheit or Celsius? Is that different over there too? I've heard. I feel like we're the only ones who use Fahrenheit, right? Like as Americans. Crazy work. I guess we just had to be different in everything. You know what I mean? We just had to be different. I feel like I could crochet so much faster than this. But I don't know. When I had my nails on, I couldn't crochet for shit. Honestly. Thank you so much. I love you so much for putting it in Fahrenheit. Yeah, Texas is hot, so yeah, I guess we can get used to it. I hate Texas. I love Texas, but I also like hate the heat here. I I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm allergic to the sun because I'm not, but I have ended up in the hospital because of the heat. You know what I mean? And because I'm like already prone to like sorry, to like those heats like that, like I have to be very careful around like heat and stuff. Basically like being outside for long. I was in a car. I'm wearing shorts, right? But I was in the car today and like my leg was like in the window and stuff. It was rolled down, right? But it was like next to a window and like the sun was like hitting directly on my knee. And I get like these little red spots on my legs because of the heat. And I think I still have like little spots here, like they haven't gone away. So I'm very sensitive to the sun. So that's why I kind of don't like going out too much. And if I do, I have to be very well protected. I kind of want to go to the beach though, for sure. I like places with rainforest though. I like places where there's rain so much. You know what I mean? There's this place that we go in Mexico that when it rains, oh my goodness, it's so pretty. My family members live up there. as well. My family lives like all over the place. I have family members like in California, and wait, where else do they live? I think my other family members live in Houston, or was it Dallas? Well, I have family members in Houston too, but there's like the rich side of the family. I don't really know where they live. I think they live in California too. But my family members that live in um, Mexico, it's this place called Guadalajara, Jalisco, which I made a vlog on. I think I made. Did I post that vlog? I don't know. I don't really be remembering what vlogs I be posting. But basically, Guadalajara, Jalisco. Oh my goodness, those are literally the mountains over there. So they basically live in La Sierra. It's like mountains basically. And there's this park right next. Well, they kind of live in like this neighborhood where there's like a park that is literally a whole freaking forest. Okay, like let me tell you something. That park, the trees that are on that park. Oh my goodness, I am in love with the freaking place, dude. The rain feels warm when it rains over there during like certain times. I think this is like May or July. I don't know when exactly. But when it rains over there, it rains warm. Okay? And there's times where it rains so it's cold but in a nice way. You know what I mean? Like that kind of cold you like. You know, like you feel comfortable with. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it feels so nice. I love it so much over there. I really do. I feel so at peace over there. I want to move over there personally. Just my go-to retirement home, you know? It is. I love rain. I love it. I want to move somewhere where there's sufficient amount of rain. I mean, not raining every day, but like at least like 5 times a week. You know what I mean? Like just those 2 pretty days where you can be at the beach, I guess. The rain feels so nice though. I love it. I love it so much. I don't know, it's just I feel like people's attitudes change too when there's rain. You know what I mean? Like they just start talking about the weather more. Well, here in Texas, because it rarely rains where I'm at. But I don't know. I feel like rain makes people softer in a way. It makes them more gentle. Some people get in a bad mood when there's rain, but few people compared, right? I mean, but heat on the other hand, yeah. I hate people when they're fucking, you know, with their heat waves and shit. Crazy work. For sure, that must be nice. That must be nice. I rarely get that over here. Very rarely. And if it rains very, very little. You know? There could be like a hurricane going on, like on the street over, and where I'm from, where I live, there's barely even a dribble. You know what I mean? Like there's barely even a drop of rain. So, kind of sucks, if you ask me. I mean, it has happened before where there's like hurricanes, like literally down the freaking street, and we're okay over here. Kind of sucks, huh? You know what? I need to get my calories in. I've been trying to gain weight, right? Because like I'm working out and stuff. and I need to gain weight by eating more calories, and it's so hard. It's so hard. I just can't seem to make it. I've tried drinking shakes and stuff, but it doesn't help. It really doesn't help me. Like, I need to get 2,000 calories, and I can barely get to 1,600 calories. Like, barely. And those are like 100 calories less than my maintenance. You know what I mean? Like, how horrible is that? I've technically been under eating my whole life, but you know, since I eat like a lot of junk food, I guess that makes up for the calories. That's why I maintain the same weight. I've been the same weight for like 4 years. I moved it a little bit, like a few pounds, and then I dropped them back. And I haven't been able to get back up, I guess. 2 more calories. 2 more weight pounds. Top 3 movies. I don't know. That's also very hard for me. Definitely Corpse Bride. I love it. I love Corpse Bride. I don't know. I guess I'm very childish. The Grinch. And Maleficent. Oh my goodness. I don't know why I put her last, but Maleficent. I love Maleficent. Movies with Angelina Jolie. I love the story on that one. For sure. Top 3, I would say. Top 4, Princess and the Frog. I love Princess and the Frog. Probably something I will never mention again, but I love her so much. She's my favorite Disney princess. You know, in my thrift haul video, you see me with this like thrifted dress because I thought it looked like the Tiana dress from Princess and the Frog. That's why I bought it. I thought it was so cute. I kind of wanted to dress up for like Halloween and stuff, but I thought it would be weird, I guess. You know? People are sensitive. I mean, no, I'm not overly skinny. I'm like okay weight, but I mean, I do have an eating disorder, that's for sure. I've been trying to at least maintain my weight, but it's hard to gain weight, you know? I do lose a lot of weight like fast. So that's why I try my best to eat. I forget to eat. I don't get hungry. My mom usually reminds me to eat because she makes food, right? Sometimes I make food for my family. Very rarely, just because I don't like cooking for people. It's a little selfish thing of me, for sure. That's the only thing I could say, like, I'm 100% selfish on. Like, I don't like cooking for other people. And I mean, I cook really good because they ask me for more and stuff, but I don't like cooking it unless I'm trying new recipes. I don't like cooking. I enjoy baking more, to be honest. I think I bake really good. I can't get my cinnamon rolls though, for sure. My cinnamon rolls are very hard to do. You know, out of all of those movies, I've never watched any of them. A Walk to Remember. Have I watched that one? Sounds familiar. Project Hail Mary, I've heard of it, never watched it. I've been recommended that movie like so many times, and I never watched it because I mean, I don't really find anything amusing on it, if I'm being quite honest. Sounds kind of boring. I'm 5'5". Some people say I'm 5'6" because I look tall, but I don't know. Like every time I measure myself, I'm like 5'5", close to 5'6", but 5'5", not that. So yeah, I think 5'5" is pretty short. I always wanted to be 5'6". I look like Ariana Grande when she was younger. I don't see it. You'll have to excuse me, but I don't see it. I feel like Ariana Grande has like more like a skinnier, slim, beautiful face. You know what I mean? I I have like I feel like I have my cheeks like filled in. Kind of an insecurity of mine. I don't like how puffy my cheeks look. I guess kind of like yeah, filled in cheeks. I guess. I don't know. My hair also looks very like non Ariana Grande. I bleached it and now it's kind of like turned like dark ish for like some reason. I don't know how that even happened. But thank you so much. It wasn't rude, I guess. Compliment. I'll take it as a compliment. Girl, I'm not gorgeous, girl. I would say I'm pretty decent. It's just because I'm wearing makeup, weirdo. I genuinely believe like the makeup makes me look better. Obviously, if I take it off, I look like below average. You know what I mean? Do you watch any like romantic movies? For sure, obviously the most basic one, The Notebook. I I didn't watch this until like last year because I thought it was kind of like overrated. Like it's just another love story, but for sure related to it 100%. So I've watched it like 3 times already. I like it. I think it's nice. I think it's cute. I think it really expresses how love really works, you know, in an actual authentic way, you know. You know, I've been recommended to watch La La Land, and I don't know. I've never really. I don't even know where I can watch it like for free. You know, like I don't want to have to be paying like a bunch of subscriptions. You know. Girl, I have a mirror right here, right behind me. I see myself every day. I'm gorgeous, but I feel like I have a nice body. Like that's something I will always admit. Face wise, yes, I'm. Mm, I don't know what the right word for me would be. I guess I'm okay. Like here's the thing. I know I'm good looking, like to me, but outwardly, like towards other people, I'm like I feel like I'm pretty basic. You know what I mean? Like I'm not the most prettiest freaking girl in the world, you know. But for me, as long as I find myself good, gorgeous, pretty, attractive, I'm fine. But I know like outwardly into the public, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, you know? And that's okay. I'm not mad about it. For sure. You know, I'm surprised my brother doesn't come in like often. You know how he came in like earlier? I'm surprised he hasn't come in again. I usually mute and like um, turn my camera off just to protect the privacy, you know. But sometimes I feel like being nosy. I asked him if he wanted to say hi, but he didn't. So. I think I make it too big, you know? Wait, let me look. I might have made it like too big. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, well, I've never heard of one, so I wouldn't know too much about them. I've only ever heard like those, like The Notebook, La La Land, basic overrated movies, basically. More love stories. I mean, Mexican ones, yeah. There's one called like Tired of Kissing Frogs. It's I think it's pretty good. It's kind of R-rated. Yep. Yeah, rated R. But yeah, I've watched it. And then there's one que se llama No Eres Tú Soy Yo, which is also kind of like, it made me hate women. Yeah, it was mainly like the guy's perspective of the breakup, you know, and how hard it was for him to get over that breakup, basically. So I think it was pretty good. I don't know, other like love stories, movie wise. Girl. You think I have a nice smile? No, I mean, I'm definitely a little bit more less insecure about my smile now. When I was a child, I had pretty bad teeth. I guess. I don't know. I was always scared of my smile. But now it's kind of like, I embrace it a little bit more, you know? So, I hurt my boob. Sorry. Too explicit over here. Too honest. My goodness. This sofa is kind of uncomfortable, you know? Like, I'm in a sofa right now. Where is it? Like I said, my hair, I feel like my hair looks a little darker now. Like, it usually looks very light, and I don't know how it even lightened, you know? Like, I have pictures here where I hate iPhone. You see this? Oh, it sucks. You see how my hair looks like lighter there? Is the lighting? It might be the lighting. I mean, I guess it just depends on the camera. Because I took this one with my camera. Like my, I guess, vlogging camera. I have a mess here. You see? My little camera. I think I like this camera. It's really nice. You know? Because you could just... This one comes out and it just flips over however you like it. It's pretty nice. Anyways, I took these pictures with that camera. Give me a minute. I was trying to like do like UGC. I don't know if you know what that is, right? But you see how it looks kind of dark, like my hair, but it still looks like it has more color than this. I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of fading or something, you know? You know what I also hate about iPhone is that it doesn't even have enough space. Like, how do you not have enough space if you're kind of known for that? You know what I mean? Or at least what I've heard, it's known for having a lot of space. But whatever. Girl, are you kicking me out? No. I was going to bed, but my mom, like I said, my mom left to go with the neighbor. We have like a neighbor that she comes like every day, and she's sick right now, so you know, being really good neighbors here, my mom went to go like help her out. I mean, it's late, it's like 1 in the morning. It's like 1:20. But you know, since I told her like I was live, yeah, I think she went to go over there. That's why my brother came in. My brother came in asking where my mom was. So. That's why I kind of stayed a little bit longer. I only managed to make like 3 of these. 3 little fingers. Oh, wrong way. You know what? These kind of look like chicken fingers, you know? I don't know. No, I usually sleep late anyways. I'm trying to like regulate my sleep schedule or sure. That's the only thing. Like, I tried sleeping early yesterday and I was just in my bed like rolling around like a freaking rotisserie chicken because I couldn't sleep. Like I usually I usually sleep like at like 8 in the morning because I'm an all-nighter. And the thing is, I've tried to regulate my sleep and I just couldn't. It's because I be up thinking about these stupid ass people that don't give a shit about me. Or at least they pretend they don't give a shit about me because, well, like I said, I don't want to ruin anyone's relationship, right? But stupid as fuck. Regardless, at the end of the day, he chose her. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not mad about it. You know, like, it doesn't matter. It's just the way that he did things does make me a little bit mad. And like I said, I do still feel affection for those people. So, you know, I stay up kind of like thinking about them in a way. Or I'm like up thinking about my YouTube videos and my content and stuff, which is usually why I stay up. I stay up like editing all of my videos. I've been trying to be more consistent with my content. Type shit. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I just stay up, I guess. And I haven't been able to regulate it at all. Like, I don't know how to. I've tried drinking melatonin, which is like sleeping pills, right? And they don't work. They don't work on me. It's just really good. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I do like going out and stuff. It's just I've been too depressed to go out, so my bed has been my comfort. You know what I mean? But thankfully, I have a job now, so I could be making money, be spending like a crazy person and stuff. You know, be my own sugar daddy here, for sure. So, you know. Yeah, you totally can. Oh, you know what? Just give me a minute. I don't know. I don't know if I have battery here. Oh, yeah, I do. Holy shit. I keep my. Oh my goodness, that's freaking cold. I keep my Instagram here in this phone just because I post my content through this phone. Oh, look, it got ruined, girl. Look at that. Just because whatchamacallit? I keep all of my YouTube accounts on all my three phones and my TikTok on all my three phones. But I tried keeping my Instagram on all my three phones and it lags like so bad. So I just keep it on this one. So I need a like hotspot. Oh, this is my Instagram, dude. Like, I don't have Wi-Fi, so it's not loading. But that one's right there. You see my beautiful little face? Gorgeous. I don't know if I should change my profile. Probably should. Probably should. Looks kind of weird. For sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. Little hearts. Little hearts. You see those little hearts on the screen too? Oh, they stopped. Girl. Low key. When I'm famous, I don't know what I'm gonna do. How am I gonna reply to all the comments there? Imagine. Girl. You know what I want to get though? I want to get PR. For sure. I like gifts, you know? I like opening stuff. Even if I don't use it or it's something you throw away or something, you know? Which is weird. Why would you throw away a gift, right? But I don't know. PR for me is like receiving products from like brands is like kind of exciting. Do I collect anything? Purses, I would say. I would have to say purses. Give me a minute. Okay? Don't go anywhere. Okay, the other room is occupied, but I keep like all of purses in my other room. This is where I sleep. This is the room where I usually sleep, but in my other room is usually where I make like content and stuff. That's where I have all of my purses and stuff. I collect purses, I guess. I mean, I don't really use them, that's why. So I guess that's what I collect. I like bags. They're very pretty and shiny. Um, I don't think I collect anything else, really. I hate plushies. I hate when they give me plushies. Oh my goodness. It makes me want to throw them in their face. Really, like, why do I need that? It's not something I could use. It's not something I could wear. It's just collecting a lot of space in my room, which I already don't have because of my purses and my clothes, you know? But, yeah. I would have to say purses, for sure. Anyways, I do have to go. It's 1:30 and I think my mom is already back. So, yeah, I feel like every hobby is expensive. I have a lot of hobbies too. One of them is crocheting, knitting. Like I said, I left that. Content creation was a hobby, and I mean, it still kind of is, right? But it does take up a lot of a time. I'm sorry. I spent more than $2,000 in cameras, equipment, and stuff on content creation because I did kind of want to make it a career in a way, but I haven't gotten there yet. So, very unfortunately. But yeah, I think I have to go. Hold on. Okay, so I have to go chat because it's late. It's 1:30. Okay, I do have to go now. I will see you. I don't know when I'll do live. This is like once in a million that I do live. But I stayed. Oh my goodness, I stayed like 3.5 hours here. Crazy work. Anyways, I have to go. I will see your message on Instagram. Hopefully, um, I don't know if today, maybe tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna sleep already. I'm kind of not that tired, but it was great talking to you. I love you so much. Thank you so much. So much love. Mwah. Love you. See you next time.